Well, you know that sound, and you know this voice, and this face. It's 420, y'all. Light 'em if you got 'em. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Craig X. I'm a man, young Jeffrey here, Jeff Lundstrom.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Prairie Medicinal Cup, Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup special. That's what it is.
Right,
it's a long one, man.
Celebration of cannabis and harvesting in Saskatchewan.
That's right.
That's what we do. We're ganja farmers.
Right? Fields of wheat.
Yeah, that's right.
Wheat and flax.
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Back with the third special, if you will, the third of the preseason games before I come back next week with Season 3 of Expert Joints Live. But here we are live from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, where we're in here doing it in the middle of Canada practically. Well, almost. Close enough. Anyway, in the prairies here with my man Jeff. Now, of course, you saw him 2 weeks ago when we were doing the Squad Spot special in Kamloops.
That was fun as hell.
That was a great time. Thank you for being there, man. I appreciate you coming through.
Thanks for having us out. And, of course, thanks to Thompson Caribou for having me down. It was fun. Turned out to be Dee's birthday, and we had a blast, man.
Oh, man. Shouts to the squad.
Pinball and getting real stoned.
Really, really stoned.
I smoked like that for a minute. Always with people.
Right?
Hard.
I think we're dropping a couple of frames.
But some guy had autoflower I didn't like. But then he had some killer to make up for it. So
luckily, that's the thing about the squad. There's usually a million different varieties those guys got going on. There's always something coming out of there, and new drops every week. So check them out. ThompsonCaribouConcentrates.com or ThompsonCaribou.com or any. They'll be there. Check it. And I also see we're dropping a couple frames on Facebook. So I'm going to dial this back. We'll work on this through the show. You know how we get there. Thank you very much for toking up and tuning in. Appreciate being here. The only thing I couldn't pack in my overnight case was a mic stand, but it's all right. We'll try and get a mini one for next time.
I don't have a mic stand.
You don't have a mic stand?
No.
Right? I sure do. I sure do. All right, so bear with me here, guys. We're going to try and get this going as we get the show going, of course. So we're here at Skunk Funk, for those who don't know, 2405 22nd Street West here in lovely Saskatoon. If you want to come on down, check them out anytime. It's a head shop, is it not, young Jeffrey?
That is correct.
And so let's start with that. I mean, before we get into the Prairie Cup, obviously that is the big deal, and that's what we're here for, really, to talk about this weekend. But tell us a little bit more about the shop, because, I mean, it starts somewhere, and it started here first, right?
It did. Well, I was passionate, of course. I always wanted to be involved for a long time. I was talking about this earlier. I touched a little bit on it in Vancouver this summer at Canada Day, talking about being in the crowd and watching from behind the scenes or from a distance, being a couple provinces away and, reading the struggles and just seeing what had happened in the community and trying to push forward and figure out how do you become an activist. And that there's no easy answer to becoming. How do you become a marijuana activist? So there's no real easy answer to that. It definitely isn't just show up with a sign, although some people were really successful with that.
Yeah, and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Start with the marijuanas is my first suggestion here, of course.
Well, that's a long time ago, so like when I was 17. So.
Well, we'll ask you that in the Faded 4 questions, because we haven't asked you that yet. And I'm working on dialing the stream settings down here a little bit, guys. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it should be a little bit less droppy. You never know what you're going to be. I dropped frames like 3-4 times per second on YouTube, but dialed it back down already. So seems to be better. It looks crystal clear. It just was a little glitchy, but I think we're there. So yeah, so we're in the middle of the prairies.
Yes.
Known for farmers and wide open spaces and more wide open spaces, and not really known for a lot of hills, but also known for being reasonably, or perceived to be reasonably conservative sort of area. Whether that's true or not. I mean, I used to come back here 20-some years ago on some old DJ days. We had a great time. Hella parties go down in Saskatoon. But there must have been, obviously, some difficulties getting a weed shop like this open in Toontown back in the day. Or when you started, was there not? Or has it been a smooth ride the whole way? Or what does the community think?
I think it was a slow progression. Like the one shop that we have, it's like a record store here. It's called Vinyl Exchange. And they've been around for years. So they went through their struggles like in the early 90s and like a little bit later 90s with the raids where they'd still bust head shops and take your bongs and shit. Yeah. So they went through all that and still reopened and continued. But they always sold records and memorabilia, T-shirts and that kind of stuff. So they had a small section for head shop. So it wasn't just dedicated to it, right? Mm-hmm. So Yeah, so there wasn't much for that. Then there was Bob Headquarters. So anybody knows BOB Headquarters is a Manitoba franchise brand. So and they, I think, sort of came in, but their prices were really crazy. So they were up on Broadway in Saskatoon, which is kind of more upper east side, where people spend a lot of money shopping and kind of, you know, like hustle and bustle. It's got pubs and you know, blues bars and stuff like that. So it's a place that people want to be. So the head shops in there started tucked upstairs in a little spot, and people didn't like their prices. I definitely heard that a lot, and I didn't buy a lot because I wasn't a rich pothead back then.
Right.
So
as opposed to now,
no, not so much now. Just moderate.
Mid-level pothead.
I got lots.
Yeah, you do.
So
and some of them are on special today.
So yeah, there wasn't much for head shops. So when I opened, and there definitely wasn't anything west side. So there's two separate. We got a huge river that runs in between us. We're called the City of Bridges. If people don't know that, we have like 12 of them or some shit if you count them all up, and they're building like 2 more new ones. And so yeah, City of Bridges. So you can cross over the river in like 12 different spots, and the separation between the west side and the east side. So if you got to get up to the other side of the city, that's a bit of a haul if you are on foot or a bus or anything like that, right? So there's nothing for west side, and I think probably just because this is a tougher part of town, so that we sort of live in a rougher neighborhood, and there's an off sale right here, and then there's a recycling center right here. So people go and drop their cans off and then go get their booze. So, you know, and we're right in between that. So, and then you add, you know, some mental illness, some addiction issues to the neighborhood, and you got problems. So we just, I wanted to be in a place where cannabis could really make a difference, right? We want a shop that, here, you can come in, we can talk to you about maybe getting you off those opiates, or we can talk to you about using different,
less harmful substances.
Prescription
for
pills
sure, for sure.
And we focus a lot on that. It was always about medicine based, and I just, like I said, pushed forward with the head shop and wanting to break into the industry. Like once I got my store, I started, it took me a year to make some money.
It always does, but that's pretty good if it's only a year.
Yeah, it took me a year to make some money. And after that year, then I started traveling. So in 2009, we opened February 2008. So
okay, so over 7 years now, coming up on 8 years then.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 10 years then.
Yeah,
sorry, coming up 10 years.
10. We just started our 10th year in business. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. But it took a progression. 2009, I started traveling to Toronto. Ron Hill had the Toronto Cannabis Cup. It was the 6th annual. Sure. It was the first one I went out to. And then, of course, I met my hero, Michelle Rainey, at the time. I've been doing correspondence with Michelle for like 2 years, almost a year and a half online. We were sending emails. She was trying to help me get my license. So I actually had a weed license to produce marijuana before I had one to possess and use marijuana. So because I couldn't access my own license, I started focusing on helping other people. So then once we just kind of got flowing after that, it just kept rolling. 2010 gave birth to Cups Like Treating Yourself, which I, then met all the rest of these riffraff.
Bunch of hoodlums and speaking of these no good ones, I was just going to say, let me do a guest cam. Look who's in the place to be. We've got, me and young Jeffrey over there, and of course his lovely shop. Couple of familiar faces. Oh, Smoker's Guide in the place to be. I see a CC shirt over there. Did you just escape from Ottawa jail, maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, look at that. We've got the heady Ewok himself and the man with the golden voice, plus the squad. What's going on, squad?
Caribou.
Yes, the title sponsors of the event. So, D, since you're here, we call you back up in a little bit or something? Cool. All right, well, once we get into the cup portion here. Actually, Ewok, while you're doing it, make yourself useful. I got this on the extension. Give them a quick little half a tour skis of the shop so we can see the counters and the cabinets while we... Yeah, you do good, man. Just show them the counters and show them what they got going on here. So
not your first time with a camera in your hand.
No. And we've only got 15 feet, so you're there. That's about it. So, yeah, he's going to show you, obviously, so the typical fare, I guess, for a head shop, bongs and papers and all the grinders and containers along the way. Wide assortment, big place in here as well, too. Lots of stuff on the shelves, as Jared's showing up. What do you find are your most popular items here, if I can ask?
Geez, what do we sell the most of? One-hitter dugouts and
really?
baggies.
Hey, is what it is, man.
Lots and lots of baggies. So.
Plus, you got all kinds of dab rigs over there. I see stickers and shirts and all sorts of stuff. Of course, the big wall of bongs behind us as well, too. But as the sign says over in the corner, you do not sell Mary Joanna's, so do not ask.
Well, we get asked a lot because it stinks like cannabis in my store because there's always a medicinal patient in here consuming it.
Right.
So, you know, they smell it and then they assume that we're drug dealers, and I always just like, there's always a sign for a reason. I've been asked the question too many times. So I'm just getting sick of having to answer it. It helps limit the question. But what I'm most proud of, if you take a look with the camera, Jeremiah, if you go back, so that cabinet right there, where James just went in front of where Derek is, that cabinet's Canadian. The one beside it's Canadian. If you turn back around where you were, that's Canadian. That's Canadian. That's
My
Canadian.
man.
All the bubblers are Canadian. That whole shelf stand up in the back corner, Canadian. All the rigs up on the back, Jeremiah. All the rigs up there. No, go farther. All the rigs up there, all Canadian.
Very nice.
And there's only a couple that aren't. There's Hippo, there's Gibson, there's Mook, there's Thatcher Glass, there's a bunch of amazing. So because I get to know all these crazy glass blowers,
right,
like Redbeard and Clark Matthews, just to name a couple that'll be in the house this weekend.
Yeah, right. Shouts to the man
Live
Clark in the
glass
place to be
blower
right
at
now.
the PMHC 2017.
Ooh-wee.
Clark's first time, so I want to shout out to him for coming out. I appreciate. I extended the offer at the Great Canadian Glass Gathering. That we've become pretty good friends over the last couple of years.
My man, right there.
It's great to have you here, brother. I appreciate it. So.
And thanks for earning your paycheck for the day there, Jer. So
working hard,
right? So okay. So
the store just kept, and as it grew, things grew with me, Jeremiah. You know, that man had a lot to do with it. I know this guy. His name's Caleb Hubble, and he lives in Tisdale, Saskatchewan, middle of nowhere. And he knows a bunch of people on the East Coast. And I was doing a lot of stuff out. I started East Coast Ways because, believe it or not, there was a lot of roadblocks during when I broke into the business in 2008. A lot of people were fairly standoffish still because of everything that had happened over the last 4 or 5 years from the time Mark got busted. So. Right. West Coast was hard to really get any answers from anybody. People were really reserved to talk to you about how to get into business, how to start a head shop. And on the East Coast, they weren't. Right. You know, like the first time I met Chris Goodwin in 2007 in Toronto at Vapor Central, when it had nothing but white walls and some couches and shit. Like, it was so long ago. Like, I'm like, you know where to get any weed? He's like, you got to email this guy from a cafe and he'll deliver it on a bike. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And like, that never even happened, right? Like, so,
shouts to Chris and Aaron.
Now you can just, so now you can just walk in somewhere and buy that shit, right?
Well, then that's what they're, that's contentious at the moment, but yes, you can.
So Jeremiah, and my buddy started telling people, you need to listen to this guy from Saskatchewan. He's got something he wants to say. And I'm going, hey, I'm over here. And they'd be like, you're who? And I'm like, I'm Jeff Lundstrom. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I got a head shop in Saskatoon. They're like, where's that? I'm like, right in the middle of our fucking province, man. So in Toronto, a lot of people come from like Europe, and they're like, you're where? And they're like, okay. Yeah. So then nobody really wanted to come. And it took convincing. And then Jeremiah started doing videos in 2010. We did the first one for the first year of Prairie Cup. And I said, I want to do this cup. I want to have this cup. Like, let's do this cup. Let's come to Saskatchewan. And people are like, okay, Jeff, we'll come for you. Right? That's sort of really how it started. It's like, we'll come for Jeff. And then he comes to everything. I got that a lot. So I was showing for 2 fucking years. I went to everything you could think of. I went to Treating Yourself. I went to the 2009 Amsterdam Ganja Games and Marijuana Bowl that Dana Larson put on. I went to
Cannabis Day, I'm sure, and 420 and all the jams. Yes.
I went to Amsterdam's High Times Cup. I went to Prague to CannaFest. I went to Barcelona to Spanibus.
I've been there.
I traveled everywhere, and I shook hands with everybody I possibly could and said, hey, I'm Jeff from Saskatchewan, and I'll smoke you fucking down. And they're like, let's go. So, and the more people you smoke and the more they talk to you, the more they realize that your heart is in the place that it needs to be to make all this happen. They start to believe as much as you do. And then they want to come. Right. And 7 years later, the store,
and now I'm here.
Yeah, you're crazy asses here.
Actually, it's kind of a similar story with me and fucking Yub Yub over there, man. Shouts to the Ewok. I, of course, knew them a little bit through the years because I had worked around the neighborhood and had met Mark a few times.
These
and
nicknames are all new to me, so they're great, by the way. I haven't been around.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jeffrey's been a little busy.
Right? Yes, he mostly known as the head of Ewok, but Yub Yub is the fucking...
Yub
the other
Yub.
one they do. Right. Yep. But anyway, yeah, and obviously I did a pretty good interview with Jody and shit like that, which kind of helped a little bit. But yeah, I had the same deal. I'm like, Jer, I'm kind of up to some shit, and I got some plans. And he's like, yeah. Lots of people come to me and say that shit. And I said, no, I really do. He said, okay, well, show me something, and we'll talk. And I did, and here we are. So it's cool how it works, right?
Watch progression.
Yeah, sir.
You don't really know what things are gonna build into. And I'm humble and blessed. The shop has been amazing. Like, we've done really well, and we continue to do well, even though there's 9 head shops now in Saskatoon. 4 of those have opened in the last year and a half.
Yeah, but you got history with people, and people know you, and good prices and good selection.
We're still the only head shop in the hood.
My man.
So it's because of where we are and the amount of effort we put into making sure that people feel welcome here, even though they are lower income and they are addicted and they are having problems. We still have open arms and open doors, and we want to help you if you want to get helped.
Right, and that's where a lot of people end up needing the most help. So we've seen that on the downtown east side with some of the cannabis exchange programs, if you will. The get rid of those nasty ass opiates and come smoke some beautiful cannabises or eat some edibles. Mango Nuts got one going on there, of course. Sarah's got another one going on too. A few people got them going on. Check them out. That's awesome. Yeah, so you're doing it. You're a few years into Skunk Funk. You've been to some cups. You've been around the places. You're like, these events don't look that fucking hard. I could do that shit. And you decide to do the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup?
That's how it went.
Pretty much. That's what I
kept
figured.
Talking shit.
Yeah.
Said, I'm going to have a cannabis cup. They went, you're going to do what?
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to have a cannabis cup. My one buddy said, you can't do that. You're going to get fucking busted.
Yeah, it's Saskatchewan's, man. You can't do that.
I said, if they're going to bust me, I'm like, they can't be that stupid.
You'll see them coming for about 45 minutes in either direction, though.
If you don't, yeah, for sure. And if you don't know me, I have a huge marijuana leaf tattooed on my stomach. So, and like, I'm pretty bold about showing that off if I can and talking to people about it. So, and I mean...
Yeah, you got this one on your arm. You don't hide it.
That came progression later. The big Care Bear stare has been there for a minute. So
I like that, the Care Bear stare. That's awesome.
So yeah, I kind of just draw potheads towards me, sort of wherever I go. So I've just been places like if you don't know, I grow marijuana in Mexico. And yeah, I've been doing that for 7 years. So I helped a farm get off the ground out there and continue to help them grow every year. And we grew it into something that's beautiful. And every time I travel, there's wonderful weed there for me to smoke. And
gracias, senor.
Yeah. So if you're ever down around the Cancun area, want to get high with me? Live special. Things are really changing there, right? So progressively changing there, and they're going to see legalization of the plant eventually.
Yep.
They've always looked at it as a medicine, so it's great.
Well, they went medicinal this year fully just a few months ago as well too. So yeah, exactly.
But if it wouldn't have been through everything that I've done, people wouldn't know who I am. People like Ramo, the urban grower, like I've been in some of his crazy videos.
Shouts to Ramo.
And he's always helped support the Prairie Cup. He's a sponsor again this year, even though he can't make it out.
He was in Kamloops with us a couple weeks ago at Squad's place.
It's people doing videos with him in Jamaica. Like, I got to give Bunny Whaler his first dab. If you've never seen that on YouTube, it's worth watching.
Giving anybody their first dab's dope, let alone a whaler. Just saying.
That's amazing. So I'm humbled to be able to have had all these crazy opportunities because I know a bunch of crazy potheads.
Well, and to that effect,
weed heads all over the world.
I get it, man. If I wasn't going around on the internet going, "Hi, look at me," I wouldn't be here doing it. So thanks for having me out here. This is my first time not only to the Prairie Cup, but out here to host it. And
won't be your last.
No, definitely not. I've heard for a couple of years now, everybody say this is the friendliest cup, the most enjoyable cup. There's bigger ones, and
there are bigger ones. We're not the biggest, but I don't want to be. I don't need to be. Yeah. When you have fun, that's not what it's about.
Yeah, but yours seems to be the most interactive cup. So looking at, or if I can give it that title, but you look at this website that we've got up here, which is saskprairiecup.ca, S-A-S-K, Prairie, you spell that yourself, cup.ca. And so you can go there, you can get some judges and weekend passes and shit like that. You can see some of the sponsors, but the info. So now, not taking anything away from any of the other cups, but a typical cup and even 420 and shit like that is usually some combination of vendors and booths and maybe some rappers or some DJs or some shit like that. And you hang out for a little while and Bob's your uncle. You get fucking high and you go home. But yours is like 3 days of interactive shit. There's like schedules, there's like games. I heard acrobatics and shit, juggling competitions and shit like that. I heard caters, there's skywriters and all sorts of shit, ventriloquists. Like the production value that I heard gone into it. You got Dopus is going to go do a special show on there as well too. Like, it's, from what I understand, now correct me if I may have exaggerated any of that, but you've got just shitloads of stuff going on throughout the weekend to keep people like more engaged as opposed to just sitting at the table dabbing their faces off and coming and going.
Well, we want them to do that too.
Yeah, but on top of that, to keep them awake, to the games to keep them going, right?
To have fun. I mean, it's all about, like I said, it's why we've gotten the
friendliest cup,
because we just have fun. We just want to have fun. That's what any stoner wants to do when they're getting baked. And who doesn't want to get baked, have fun around all of their friends who are getting baked and having fun?
Well, no one wants to, right? Yeah, yeah. No one flew out here to just sit around and be bored as fuck. I tell you that much.
And if you did, you're doing it wrong.
Right. So give them the rundown.
Judge's bag.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Of course. So we got okay. Well,
what it's all about.
Yeah. So hey, let's get to that in a minute. Save that one. Let's talk some of the activities. We don't need every rundown of every event and the whole time schedule, but you do have a schedule for me for later.
Kind of.
Perfect. Okay. At least sort of times when I need to be there or something. Yeah.
James, start working on a schedule.
I just need to know what I'm supposed to announce and when.
Oh yeah, now that we got.
Woo! Okay, perfect. No,
Neil doesn't get to know that.
Neil gets to sing. The golden voice will christen the day, and so will Jeremiah, which we'll get him back up here to talk about. But what happens? Like, what are some of the events, activities, games? What are some of the highlights, your favorite parts of what goes on over the 3 days?
Oh, I mean, I get to chuckle at all the stone people on edibles.
That's always fun.
1 year, Buddy greened right out on his guitar. The band, we used to do bands all crazy and have like but the music's way too loud. We just want people to chill out and hang out, so that we changed the entertainment up a couple of years back. But we used to have full bands rock out a whole rock night. But he ate so many edibles, he got wasted, and he couldn't even play a song he wrote. He wrote the guitar licks for it, and he couldn't play his own song, man. He was so high. It's all on fucking Pot TV, man. You can watch it if you want. I've watched it just when I needed to laugh, and I'm like, the band broke up because of that and shit. Like, it's like an epic failure story. Like, he ate like 5 of my fucking puff weeks I used to sell at my booth. Yeah, the puff wheat. Yeah. We call them the Prairie Cup balls. Yeah, they'll fuck your day right up.
Dude, I make a theoretical 500 milligram cookie because I call it that because I take an ounce and I make 56 cookies out of it. It's probably not actual 500 milligram, but anyway, they are fucking strong and they will melt your eyeballs. My dude gave one to a friend of his before band practice. First time he ever tried edible. He said, just take a bite, but this is so good. He ate the whole thing. Dude is sitting there staring at his keyboard.
Oh yeah, band practice didn't go so well.
He ended up falling asleep on his keyboard, just slow and slow. I guess the guy, he had pictures of it, took it in his head just over about a 20-minute period. He just got closer and closer and closer, and then boom. On the keyboard. So, it can be a dangerous thing around music and marijuana, as I tell you what.
Agreed. It's fun to watch. So,
great times.
I like watching people stoned. I like the 30-foot volcano bag. I like the Cannabis Olympic stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of my baby. So,
is Freddie going to come defend his title this year with the fastest rollers?
I have no idea if Freddie Pritchard is coming to defend his title or not. I haven't heard from him.
Well, Frederick, we'll see if you're going to be there. I guess I'll be judging the joint rolling, I would assume, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
makes sense.
You're working.
I will be there just hustling my butt off all weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And, of course,
speaking of working, we want to give a shout-out, hard to you, because you're a hard-working man, and I appreciate that. And we appreciate you coming in to step into the shoes of our host. Matt Myrna has been our host for how long? Last 6 years?
He did all of them, right?
5? Yeah, Tracy was there the first year. Matt came the second. That's right. Matt's always been a wonderful friend,
yes,
a wonderful activist, a true inspiration to me. I've appreciated all the hard work he's done. I like the fact that he stepped back. He's doing his thing. He's working it hard, and making sure sick people get their meds, and that's what's important. So I really appreciate the effort he's put forward in his new endeavors, and we really appreciate the past. effort he put into the Prairie Cup, because he's such an amazing, talented, knowledgeable cannabis activist that having him on stage just brings that presence. It's amazing. But I think that your knowledge base and your personality, that's absolutely wonderful, will shine through as the new host, and will bring that same excellent, awesome aura that Matt had brought. And I look forward to seeing you at work, because I've always I've always
he's trying to get a deal on the bill. No, dude, I appreciate the hell out of it, man. I thank you for having me out here and making it happen. Yeah, shouts to Matt. I actually ran out into him a month ago when I was doing the Karma Cup special in Toronto at Vapor Central, and we talked about it, and he's like, you got big shoes to fill. And I looked, they're like the same size as mine. But no, shouts to Matt.
He's talking about height-wise. He's
actually, I think platforms. He is shorter than me.
But he always wears those platform shoes every year. He's got those stilt shoes on. Like, he's like 4 feet. He's taller than me.
No, shouts to him and for everything that he's done, and I'm happy to be here to come in. It's going to obviously be a switch up for a lot of the regulars who haven't seen him around, but I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna try and make the most of it. You give me the microphone and tell me sort of what to say when, and I'll take care of it, man. I'm happy to be here doing it.
Well, we appreciate it. So there's a big shout out to Expert Joints.
Thank you, man.
My man Craig X.
So if people want to join us and check out like how they get here, but more importantly the judges kit, as we talked about, I want to get into that for a second. If people want to come out and get it, or they say, oh no, I didn't get a kit 3 weeks in advance, how am I going to judge it now? Give them the breakdown on how you judge your competitions and how you make it available to people.
Well, when I traveled around doing the cups that I talked about and all the traveling I did, I was a judge at all of them, every single one. I paid for a judge pass. I judged, and I put a fair effort into what I thought was my valued opinion on each one of people's product. And I took those different aspects and elements from those cups, and I've utilized it in mine. So taking some of the stuff that I liked and I put it towards my cup, and I took some of the stuff I didn't like and made sure I didn't do any of that. Right. So I kind of just sort of tried to learn from other people's trials and tribulations. So, I watch and see how they worked. Like our judges form is actually almost a carbon copy, not 100% carbon copy, but almost a carbon copy of, I think it was the second or third annual Treating Yourself. It was just an amazing scorecard. I liked the way it was laid out. It gave me a lot of options. I'd seen a lot of different judges' ballots, and I was like, this one's really detailed, and it gave me a nice layout on how that went. So it made it easy to copy that and want to use that. And it's nice. We added online voting last year, which is huge for us. That took a lot of work out of it for me and Matt. Me and Matt Murray used to go hide in the basement and count ballot votes for 2 hours on Sunday, and then try to make it up before 4:20 to announce the fucking winners, right? It was super fun. But all while real stoned, so that's great. But, we managed to pull it off every year. But online voting has brought in a new element to that removes the need to do any of that.
It's really helpful. I found with Karma, when they had the booklet, which you could make notes on and stuff, but to go to the website and be able to click in there and enter and just automatically tallying the votes and everything like that, so much easier. And there's no guesswork out of it. It's just...
That's right. So we had a system in place last year that wasn't mobile friendly, and we had some hiccups with that system, and we didn't have access to that system this year. So a really good friend of mine that's been working close behind the scenes, helping me get the Prairie Cup together this year, he built a whole new voting system from scratch. And made it mobile friendly, and
killer.
The guy's amazing what he can do on a computer. I don't know any of that stuff. I always joke with him that I'm like, you want me to grow you a plant, dude? Like, I wouldn't go to him to grow me a plant because he doesn't know how to do that. But he can program a fucking computer to make you do online voting somehow. Nice. I couldn't figure that fucking shit out for sure. Nice. I'll grow you a weed plant though that tastes real nice and gets you super baked.
Sell you a bong that works.
I will sell you a bong that works or a vape that works.
Oh.
So and so we get all new online voting. It looks amazing. It's mobile friendly. Makes life so much easier. So I'm super stoked.
Categories.
We can spend more time. Okay, so we have 3 categories: hybrid, indica, sativa, 6 entries in each. And I found 18 samples of flower. 18 grams of flower was tons to sample, right? So you get a good assortment of everything, and you want to. It takes a long time. You need 3 days is probably not a lot, and then concentrates we were at 10, and I wanted to try and stay at 10 because it's a lot to break all that up, and it's a lot of hard work to do all that work. Right. So but we had 16
There's so many concentrates this year, man.
So I added 6 more spots and accommodated every person who wanted to enter this year.
Attaboy.
So
nice.
we got a full house. You got 18 flower entries, so that's a gram, 18 grams in total. Yeah. And then you got 16, or what did I say? 16 different samples at about a 1.2, 0.3 sample per, which is about 4 good hits. One good hit if you're a hard pothead. Yeah. Like if any one of the Thompson Caribou guys is just one hit.
That's a warm-up dab for the squad dab.
That's how they got up this morning, you know.
Yeah. Before Chris did that before he got out of bed, probably. No,
because they drove all the fucking way from last night.
No one. Yeah, right. No one squad. Big Chris, he was just like, I'm gonna just take a little dab here, wipe the sleep out my eyes, check my phone, unplug it, take one more dab, then sit up.
I actually have some of the flour with me now. We can't say what it is, but we can show it off.
And we're going to show off the kit on Jare's show tomorrow. We're gonna that's the saving of the unveil. So
because it's a blind judging. So
and it's on-site blind judging as opposed to mail you the kit in advance or pick it up from the shop days in advance. So you come down there, you judge it all on site. Super cool.
Correct. And I think that just works best. I mean, people have a lot of downtime too. So I mean, we don't start the cup until 3:30 each day. So I mean, you know, if you're a major pothead, you might sleep till noon. I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock. You still got a couple hours to get high before you wander down to get high.
I'll be working. So, I'll be spreadsheeting something.
But that's you. I'm talking about just people attending the cup.
Jared will be at the bank.
And so you want to see some of the herb that we can't tell you what it is.
I do like weed that I don't know. Oh, let's go with mystery bag A.
A, all right.
Ooh, bag A, one of my favorite bags. Now I don't have the bud can with me because you have no idea how little room was left in the close-up can in the carry-on.
I brought
drug abuse.
I brought this. This is the first one I wanted to show off because it's my personal favorite.
Bud A.
That's my personal.
Random nug A.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get a little bit of a shot on this, if it'll catch. Where is it? There is it. Blurry. It's a mixer and a nug. That's what that is. It's 2 things. So nug A, very nice. And mystery nug B?
Mystery nug B, that's correct. Not necessarily mystery nug B on any of the forums, but just
for today's purposes.
Just for today's purposes,
correct.
Another
nug. I wish I had the close-up can with me. I'm going to have to roll one of these suckers up here in a minute.
We could do that. Yeah, I think we should roll the first one.
Let's do that.
Not because it's my favorite.
No, but because it was the first one. And we're going to have to roll them all, probably, because, you know. Right. There is, but I also travel I also travel pretty proper as well. It's okay. Yeah.
I'm going to have a dab.
Right, of course.
So I did win, at one of your events. The first one actually had a
Neil Magnuson has done very well, the man with the golden voice, volunteering to roll for me. But yeah, no, it's part of the shtick. But I do.
All right, I'm back.
That's right. Right, just to fuck around. No, I do appreciate that. So, that's what I like is really cool because not that there's a problem with high times and you know, at least Karma you had a good 3 weeks, but high times there was what? I mean, there's only 20 people who got to judge it and shit, but we had about 5 or 6 days, I think it was all that there was for it, and there was 143 samples in it.
Good luck.
Well, I started start to finish 40 hours, but awake it was 29 hours and 21 hours of testing. I did a sample every 8 minutes and 49 seconds.
Nice.
I got through all 143 of them. This shit is sticky as fuck. It was great, but it was so taxing. And then a few days later I did Karma and did all that in like 4 or 5 days. I was taking it easy on that one. But now for like 34 samples is a pretty good number for 3 days. That's going to keep you busy enough, to keep you stoned enough. Yep. But it's a manageable one. You can get through it if you have time, if you're into it and you're trying to do it.
Yeah, if you're a serious judge, and we hope that you are. So, you know, we want you to come on and have fun. You know, so it's
and if people, that's the other big question that I want to know. So is mystery bud A as sticky as icky? Ooh,
it's nice.
If you got this, you probably got the same bud that I did. So that's the giveaway on mystery bud A. It's no joke. Can people still get weekend passes, judges tickets, or anything of that effect?
That's right, and you got that information right there.
At the door right there? Yes.
Oh, I think you want to do that one.
This one. Boom, shakalaka. Judges passes, weekend passes, and day passes only available at the door. Online sales ended at midnight, and retail sales ended at 5 p.m. today. So if you didn't get your ticket in-store or online today, yesterday, or today, you're beat. But if you come out to the event live and in person, you can come down and judge it yourself. You get a whole weekend pass or a day pass at the door.
And that's going to be limited number of judges passes at the door.
They will sell fast.
They will. And I'm actually surprised ticket sales were not quite where I expected them to be this year, but
yeah, stoners are slow sometimes.
Oh, ain't that the fucking truth?
Oh, my man.
Not us. We go full steam ahead. But someone actually said to me earlier, they said, you seem way more chill this year. And I was like, well, I'm trying not to take it too crazy. I don't know. A lot of people know that I lost my whole event organization team from last year. Oh. So I had to sort of get a small core group of volunteers together, and we've been fucking rocking at it. Like late nights, where's Chew? Late nights, me and Chew, late nights packing and sticker lid, you know, so you get a little silly after you spent 12 hours sitting across the table from a guy sampling up samples for people.
Stickers on shit.
Yeah, man, only 200 times, like, I don't know, 32 times over, right?
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Why not?
So, but I did learn that Neil will be, you know how we were writing the letters on the cups, and Neil was the one who gave us, so we learned something. Here's something for you. We learn something new every year. And Neil phones me up, and his eyesight's been going because he's starting to get a little older now, and
slippery slope. Neil.
And we used to write because on the cup lids they say entry sativa, but it's in small writing and it's in the little crest, so it's on the little crest on there, so it's hard to kind of see. And we used to use black lettering for everything. And Neil calls and he says, Jeff, this is really hard to see. And I was like, I don't really have time for this. So I was kind of a bit of a dick to him. I remember this clearly. And because it was like, okay. And I was like, just put your prescription reading glasses on. You'll see it just fine, you old man and stuff. And
I'm not changing my font.
I'm like, it's just so much work. And he's like, you should use different colors. And I got thinking of that fucking later. And I'm like, God damn it, Neil's fucking right. I'm like, colors would be a good idea. People would be able to distinguish way better between the sativa indica categories. Sure. So then we started, the following year, we started writing the letters on with the colors, different colors. This year, we've printed the letters right on the motherfucking lid. I took that element right out. We still had to put the stickers on. Chew thinks I should come up with some way I can magically print the lid with the crest and everything, but I don't know.
I know a packaging guy who can make that happen.
Cool. Well, we need to talk to him.
It's possible.
They say it's possible, buddy. It might be less work next year, bro.
But you might need to get 10,000 of them.
That's fine. I think it was pretty close to that anyways. So I like progression. You know, it's hard at the time to hear criticism, but I tried to step back that year and learn something from that. I learned something that I could have just listened to Neil instead of criticize him for not being able to see. And he had a great idea. It was wonderful, and it's actually been really beneficial. So now we have it all color coded, and Neil's a hero. And holy fuck, man, that's what I'm saying. So
a man ahead of his time.
That's right. And so I guess I'm open to any suggestion. People were asking me what this year meant and what our focus was. And I'm telling people that my main focus this year is community. What the future of our community is, what it looks like between these times of the government-controlled takeover. They want seed to sale. They want it in controlled spots with union workers and
shitty weed.
I told my friend Dan from CBC that he did an interview with me the other day, and I said to him, the government's like the Titanic, and all those fucking assholes can see is the tip of the iceberg. They don't see what's underneath. They don't know what they oppressed us for 50, 60 years. They've driven us underground, what they taught us to be like, how they've molded us to think and feel. They made us, but they don't see what they made. They just see the tip of it. And when they fucking hit it with their big ass ship they think's going to go so perfect for them, them. We'll see how that works out, man. We all know better. I'll go right back to the place I started, underground in a basement. And I'll grow it where you don't see it, smell it, or hear it.
Yeah.
And I won't even exist to you except when I pop up to sell my bag of weed that's going to be worth three times the money it is right now.
Prohibition 2.0?
Yeah, it's unfair that they want to go like that.
It is.
But yeah, push us to the edge again. We'll go. Then we'll keep doing what we do.
And then the community will come together again, and there'll be more sponsors, and the cup will get even bigger and better. And we've got a bunch of companies like Terp Dip, Whole Leaf, Air Riser, the Calgary 420 Club, Cannabis Culture, Dabcore, KDK Distributors, Custom Culture, Pot TV is going to be hosting it. What do you know? Raw's involved, Red Beer Glass is involved, Shine, and look, Skunk Funk, oddly enough. What are the odds of that? Oh, missed one. Alien Blade, their logo will get
Glass, Best
Buds
Society, Clearly Delicious, Continental Extracts, Expert Joints, Diamond Concentrates, Ramo Brand, Smoking Guide, The Grass Station, 12 High Chicks, The High Guys, THC Gear, Team Shatter, Boo!
And back to Turf Dip, Whole Leaf, and we recite the process.
Man, Air Riser is, if people don't know, Air Riser is an amazing company. They've never come out. I would love it to see them. I'd give them free tickets. But they have sent me vapes every year to put into the first place prize kits. They sent me 4 vapes for first, second, third place, or first place for all the entries. But KDK Distributors, man, those guys are amazing. They stepped up this year. Listen to this shit. For each first place, they gave a Vape Perfection. So that's like a $500-$600 machine retail.
Holy shit.
Right? Okay, each one. So there's 2 vapes. There's a portable from Air Riser and a Vape Perfection in the first place prize packs. In the second place prize packs, there's a Predator vaporizer that came from KDK Distributors and a little micro US like handheld. And then in the third place
is the Alien one. It's Alien versus Predator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, there's also another handheld vape in the third place prize packs, all from KDK.
Well,
they gave a vape out to every prize pack, 12 in total.
Lots of great sponsors. I mean, as I say quite often, and as we see more and more important as things go forward, Saskatchewan.
Is that the Mystery A?
That's Mystery A.
Oh, yeah.
Saskatchewan hasn't announced their regulations yet. And, of course, Jared's show and the show's next week. And you know Freddie's going to fucking tear into all this stuff. Alberta released theirs.
Terrible.
Not as bad as Ontario.
No.
But
I
it's
want
not
to
right.
blow up in their face even worse.
Yeah. BC's, I've heard some rumblings, but we'll talk more about that on another show. I do want to keep this at this point
about Prairie Cup.
About Prairie Cup, and obviously people coming from across the country to be here. I see folks from Toronto. We got folks from BC. We got folks from Ottawa. We got all over the country from across Saskatchewan, Alberta, all coming to us. We see a lot of different people from the community coming together to sponsor and make these events happen, because if we don't support each other, we have no support at all. But the title supporter and sponsor of this particular event is the guys from Thompson Caribou Concentrates.
The squad in the house.
Squad stepped up and said...
they come. Derek called me. He said, I want to be involved this year. How does that happen? And I said, well, I don't know. How does it happen? He says, title sponsorship. And I was like, oh, that sounds right.
Yep.
That seems about right. There's a mic right there, boys.
And maybe, Jared, just give it a little turn just to get those guys a little bit more in the shot. Great. Perfect. In the place to be is the squad. Actually, turn the mic switch all the way down to where it says hi. That would be even better. All right.
High. The high setting's down, though.
I know. It's crazy.
Right?
It's
the low setting's up. I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, are they trying to confuse us?
Obviously.
Because it worked.
Totally. I'm all fucked. So we had... all y'all motherfuckers in the place to be doing the same shtick 2 weeks ago, basically.
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, already, that quick. Blink and it's there, right? Ooh, Jesus. Happy, again, hope you enjoyed the rest of your birthday.
It was amazing. It's honestly one of my favorite days I can ever think of. So everybody that came out, it was a total surprise. You know, Remo showed up there too. It was a blast, you know, having Jeff out there as well.
It was an epic time.
Yeah, totally an epic time.
Best pinball ever. Spider-Man, he's got Spider-Man pinball. Rock that.
Yeah, the pinball was amazing.
A little closer.
Yeah, the pinball was awesome for sure.
Fantastic. So yeah, and of course the announcement that came in there is, you know, some new graphics coming, some new packaging coming, the blah blah blah, the usual. You guys always refining, fine tuning, tweaking shit, coming with new stuff every day. Always new drops every week.
We aren't satisfied. Other people aren't satisfied. You always got to keep changing and evolving. That's the way we see it.
Right. So what? And of course you got the squad cast coming up in some before the end of the year kind of thing.
Yeah, we're hoping before the end of the year, gonna do the squad cast thing there. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm gonna be focusing on lots of energy towards that. So
man, when you're already sort of involved, you've been on my show a whole bunch of times. Like I said, I love the fact that you've gone from I don't want to be around a camera to now you can do your own show and you're super comfy with this and you're doing it. I appreciate
that too as well.
Oh man, come on.
It's easier as you go.
Right?
For sure, absolutely. It's really good when you have people around that help. You know, they can help bring it out of you too as well. So you're not sitting there trying to.
Well, and it carries over into other opportunities and situations where you need to be speaking and doing things and conducting stuff. I find also that you've obviously been involved. You're sponsoring Freddie's show, the One Man Smoke Show, gets a lot of love from TCC.
Yeah, I love everything Freddie does. You know, the guy has been there since we very first started. He was one of the guys that came and like sat down with me at Cannabis Culture and was like, you know, I really like what you guys are like, what you guys stand for. He's like, don't change. You know, keep what you're doing and. We've always tried to stay to that, so I love Freddie. I love everything the guy does.
Me too.
Right? Shouts to Frederick.
Oh, sorry.
Shouts to the king.
He won't be contending his title for fastest joint roller.
We're
gonna have a new champ this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be up for grabs.
Champ this year.
Oh shit.
Oh no, he'll have to come back and maybe next year.
See if he can regain his title. So somebody out there, sponsor Freddie to come last minute. Buy Freddie a ticket. Get at me if you want to do that, or get at the king. Make that happen. Somebody in the pod community. That'd be cool. If not, well, we'll see him next year. He is the king, though. Yeah, but so you step up from doing that and always having a booth or representation at the Cups. Of course, we saw the other half of the squad actually out in Toronto.
Yeah, for Karma Cup. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
And you're usually in a booth and handing out things or picking up trophies, becoming the winningest, trophy company in Karma history. Of course, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
But now you're going to a title sponsor of a cup. I mean, where was the switch there? When did that happen? How'd that all come about?
Well, last year, a lot of people don't know, we tried to enter Prairie last year. But unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances with Canada Post, the samples didn't get out in time. So Jeff here ended up handing out the dabs to people to sample anyways.
Oh, we smoked it hard.
And he gave us a lot of good shout-outs on the stage and whatnot. So people still got to sample the products regardless. So this year I wanted to make sure that we were there more so as a bigger part of it than just entering.
I love it. And so rather than, just entering it or even just having a booth as a sponsor, you said, fuck it, TCC going to present the whole thing. I mean, obviously, it's a nice evolution. It's good to see you guys there. You've been putting patients over profits for a long time and being such a fairly community-driven, patient-driven. You got the patients over profits parties. It kind of makes sense and a real evolution for y'all, man. So great congratulations on the continued success, and thanks for making this event. What's helped making this event what it's going to be this year, anyway.
Well, without Prairie doing its thing for as long as it has, and without cannabis culture and people like yourself, we wouldn't have the platform to reach as many people as we do. So we really appreciate it as well.
We got a prime spot for them too. So I had a 16-foot vapor or dab bar built just for Thompson Caribou. Yeah, so then they're the front in the front of the stage. You can't miss them. You can't miss it.
Just big orange.
If you don't sample some straight fire, if you don't sample some straight fire, you did it wrong, or you got too high before you got to the front of the stage.
Right.
It could happen.
Yeah, we'll be handing out dabs tomorrow too, so everybody come down and make sure you check that out.
Any chance that what you might be hanging out might be some of the stuff that's in the cup? Did you guys enter as well too? Or?
Oh yeah, for sure. We entered a sativa and as well as one extra.
They won't have any at all. It's blind.
I love it. But also, you guys make some hella products. What were you hitting on before the show, Jeffrey?
This is some God Bud live resin.
Man,
and it was epic. Got me real stoned. I was like, we got to do the show right away. I'm like, oh, what?
Heavy.
Yeah, no, it's heavy.
Squad
God,
products.
but always it's heavy.
And squad products are always fucking serious, man. So you're gonna be handing
Gotta
out
have good meds to feel better.
I see the syrup wizard over there as well too. You know,
He's got some special goodies cooking for everybody.
I
I
know
know you
the
worry about that. You know
Chef
it.
Chris.
You know how
cooking it
Jeff
up.
gets on the Sizz Up?
Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
Everybody's seen the videos or the pictures, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
been seen it live.
Man.
Karma Cup last year. Drank a whole bottle of syrup, did Pod TV. It was
Sounds
super
about right.
fun.
That's awesome.
So
Was awesome.
Even at my place there was
Mocha Boo.
yeah, the mocha booze got kicked in pretty heavy.
oh yeah, show
They kept bringing me these milkshakes. Delicious.
Totally.
right?
The best.
right? And then remember Freddie with his weed drunk from the TCC party, the
Yeah.
first one there? We
Yep.
drank so many fucking syrups
For
when they
sure.
first came out, man. He said I was weed drunk on
It's
weed.
the greatest
It was
way
the
to be,
best.
man.
Yeah.
I still held it down.
Freddie was the first one I ever saw, and Jeff was the second.
Man.
Like completely drunk on weed, 100%.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this year, obviously, going to be not the only people handing out the products. Lots of people there are going to be sampling, I suppose, as well too. All sorts of different flavors, all kind of different products and entries. I'm out of weed here. We should probably move on to nug
We
number
should
B now.
Move
here.
on to the next nug.
Nug
Yes.
number B.
There it is.
What else is going on with the squad? I mean, obviously, there's always things I'd like to check up on and see how you guys are doing. Any other new little plugs in the last couple weeks, or more things you want to talk about? What's up with the packaging on the? You were telling about some labels or something coming, or?
Oh no, we're changing the formula for the syrup is what it is,
Oh,
and the packaging and labeling for that as well. So
goddamn!
we were trying to do it before coming here, but with Karma Cup and then this cup being so close together,
Yeah.
it was a little tough. But
Cup runneth over. I get it.
Yeah, the cup's got to take priority, but it is coming very soon, so look out for that. It's gonna be real nice.
I got a question for the syrup guy. Who? The syrup wizard. I got a snow cone machine at home. Can we figure something out
Snow
to make
cone
that?
maker.
To make that, because I'm bringing my cotton candy machine. I
There you
got
go,
a
that'll be
crazy.
fun.
I got a crazy home theater, so we got medicated candies that we're gonna make
The wheels are
medicated cotton
turning.
candy at my booth.
I
So
can
I'd love
see
to
the
do
recipe.
snow cones medicated, but we need some syrup to slap on it. Can it be done? I disagree. Stop talking. They're medicated.
It may just be done.
Just put on
Ooh,
gloves.
anyone?
Yeah,
Either?
there you go. That's right. Yeah, I think it's possible.
It is possible.
I think
Looks
it's
like
possible.
anything is possible when the squad's in there.
Everything's possible?
We'll make it happen.
Okay, I'll bring the snow cone maker.
We'll
I
meet you
love
there.
it. Well,
All right.
We're gonna roll up
James
nug number
like,
B.
yeah, man.
Uh,
Dude, we'll drink a Slurpee and minus 60. Don't talk to us about
Right.
being
Year-round
cold.
Slurpee drinkers.
Right.
Yeah, man, it don't matter, man. We handle. We're rugged. Gets cold here.
They're used
This
to
is
it.
just the beginning.
They're used to it, Neil. We're
You
not.
can still wear a fucking sweater at night here.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can. Like 3 weeks, you won't be doing that shit.
Yeah, there'll be snow.
Fuck, does it get cold, man?
Not like it does around in Vancouver. It doesn't get the same degree.
Fucking Kamloops, you could have went swimming in the pool in the back.
It was hot
Eric's
there
backyard
still.
if it wasn't green.
It was warm.
60 with the
my
wind
God.
chill. Yeah, so it'd be like minus 45
crazy.
with just like the minus temperature. And it's got like 30-kilometer-an-hour winds that brings her down to like minus 61.
My goodness.
Yeah,
No,
well, it
not
is.
outside.
You don't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
No.
That's why we smoke lots of weed.
Yeah, next to the
And that's pretty much why I left Calgary.
The geese know when it's time to fuck right off. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, no, don't blame them.
Yeah, they're out of here.
Yeah, no, it's not meant for human life. That's why we're so paley.
As we flew in, I'm like, why would they build a big ass city right here? Like, what is the
That's because that big river runs right through it.
man? It's cool.
That's it.
Well, it's a great
There's a
place,
river.
good people, and a good event, man. I appreciate you guys coming back through. Looking forward to running through the Dab Bar.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
also appreciate Thompson Caribou title sponsor this year.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
we couldn't have made the Prairie Cup be what it is this year without you guys. And we're blowing it up. And I know that it's Thanksgiving long weekend, and a lot of you guys gave up being with your families to come here to be with this family. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much.
Cheers.
And we're
thank
gonna
you.
make sure that
Appreciate
you're
it.
not disappointed. There is
The turkey's coming.
at the after party. There's an epic Thanksgiving dinner. So You won't be disappointed.
ThompsonCaribou.com on the websites.
Yep.
Team Shatterboo710 on the Instagrams these days. Thompson Caribou on the Twitter. They're easy on the Facebooks to find as well, too, man. Shouts to TCC. Shouts to the squad. Any shouts, plugs, anything you want to say back to Cy and the rest of the cats back home?
Yeah,
Dr. Turpenstein.
Yeah.
The coffee.
That made me laugh.
whiz.
As
Laugh
always, just
so
shout out to
hard
everybody
the
that helps
first
us.
time I
We
heard it.
appreciate it, all the support. Absolutely, all the time.
Keep putting patience over profits, man, and good things will continue to happen, man. Right. We appreciate you doing what you're doing, and thank you very much. And yeah, for those who asked, we will be broadcasting as much as we can all weekend. Well, actually, there's a few different. Why don't I get Jer actually up here to come on through, and we can explain some of the broadcast weekend, if that's cool.
Did you get that joint rolled yet?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's a little bit slow, but as we switch that back over here, Jarawana coming through here.
Jarawana.
Because you know he
He's got all
wanna.
these new nicknames. That is
Because you know he wanna.
hardest working man in the business.
Right.
He stays up late at night every night thinking of those names.
He's like,
I write them. I have a file on
write
my
them all
phone.
down.
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night. I just write.
He's
them
got
back.
friends
I
that
get
help.
4 a.m. phone calls. He's like, I got a new one.
I got a new one for you. Check this one out. It's good.
Turkmenistan.
Right. it's a good one. What's going on, Yub?
Yo, what's up, Pot TVers? What's up, guys?
What's up,
Jeff,
brother man?
Mom, my man.
What's happening?
So good to see you again.
Same.
It's been an insane amount of time.
It has been. I'm glad we're hanging out. We're gonna get ripped.
It's the friendliest cup.
At least I know I get to see JR at least once a year.
Yeah.
At least once.
I think.
You-
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He's a hard
It's
man to
because
do
I
that.
book his flight.
Yeah, that's right.
pretty much
That's how
the
you get
reason.
me.
That is. He's got to get on it. He's like,
Right.
it's like,
And I really appreciate that, man. I really, honestly, like I always say, this is what I call the friendliest cup. I think I coined that word.
Did you?
I think I
Probably.
did. Yeah.
I don't know who
Pretty-
coined it. I
pretty
just
sure I
started
did.
hearing that shit.
And
then it humbled my heart.
Because
And
it
then-
is, and it's an intimate setting. I like all the other cups. Don't get me wrong. We have friends that do the other cups and stuff.
For sure.
But there's something about this one, and it's you, buddy. It's that you bring this heart to it. It's such an amazing vibe, and you just got the love. So that's what makes it what it is, in my opinion.
I
And plus
appreciate
the event
that.
center is like probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
dopest spot for this kind of
It
stuff.
may be our last year if legalization is really on the forefront, and that's really going to happen, and we might have a chance at all this crazy shit. We may have to move. Might be too big next year.
Bigger, yeah.
It would.
And
Like
it only
the
fits
capacity.
so many.
Yeah, the
That's kinda
capacity.
what
We're
makes it
kind of at
cool.
capacity. Yeah, it's very intimate. You'll see it if you've never seen it. You will see it. So it's kind of cool. I like it because there's a bunch of people new this year that get to see it for the first time. They'll be like, "Oh." Last year we had a few new in the house, so
We'll still be criminals next year too.
yeah,
Oh,
probably.
Yeah, we'll probably be criminals for a while.
Didn't they stay your charges?
Yes, they did.
You
Yeah,
fucking
Neil.
liar!
There you
You're
go.
not a criminal anymore.
I'm a criminal every time I pass a joint. to
Just
somebody
kidding.
or find somewhere.
Neil's upset that they
Does that mean you needed some weed?
Yeah. That's it.
Neil's actually mad that his case got thrown out.
He
he
was.
is. He's like, he's steamed about it. And the lawyers are like, no, Neil, this is good. He's like, oh, what? Come on. I want to fight.
I asked if I could refuse to stay. And they said no.
No,
So
Rob said you were crazy.
that's awesome.
that's not up for debate. That's
They make them look so bad.
Yes, you don't have a microphone, so
Yes,
I can't
so-
hear you.
Well, you will have a microphone tomorrow
Yes.
because officially the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup kicks off Friday afternoon with the start of Cannabis Culture News, does it not?
It does.
That's right.
How we've done it for the past 5 years, I think.
Correct.
I think the first year there was a little different. I don't remember if I was even here the first year.
Not the first.
No, first year I
No.
wasn't here. Yeah.
No, you guys promoted for the first.
We did, yeah.
But I mean, I had no fucking money the first year, so I
yes.
couldn't had no sponsors. That's for sure. We had a few. I mean, it was people that I just kind of knew, like from like the Calgary 420, Keith and Debbie Fagan. So
yeah.
It
Awesome
was people like that back in the beginning that really helped
The
push.
fam.
Yeah, the fam that really helped push things to just even give us like enough money or show up. We had like 6 booths the first year or something. Like it was pretty sad. I'm not kidding. It was like 30 people in the house, like which is not a lot of people if you look at O'Brien's event center. It's a big place, right?
But that is what's cool about it is having the expo on site as well. So having the people that are doing all the booths and stuff in the building.
Correct.
And it makes a big difference, I think. High Times and some of the other ones, they split you up.
There's
So
a lot of
You're
separation.
going to the music show, you're going to the expo, and everybody just kind of drifts away.
That's right.
Yeah,
And you
it
don't
was
want that. You get a lot of separation as well. You get people on the complete other end of the spectrum, and they're not focusing on staying together and having fun. Like I said, the main focus is having fun.
Yeah. And the other thing that we don't really talk about on Pod TV that much is The food, man, the food.
Then that's bullshit. Everybody talks about it on Pod TV.
Maybe I just don't talk. I just feel like we don't talk about it enough because it's so damn good.
Greg goes home every time, and the first show
5 pounds heavier.
That's true. Greg really does.
He does. He talks about them portions.
There's something about Saskatoon. You guys have the best fucking food here. When we go back to Vancouver, it's just a shame. Like,
we have good food here. We got good food here again.
Yeah.
After the show, we're headed down for the pre-party at my friend's restaurant. It's the Conga Cafe here in Saskatoon.
Is that the same one that we hit up every year?
You betcha.
Amazing people there.
They're waiting for us.
Yeah.
And there was one year that we went to that barbecue restaurant.
That was last year. There's an unfortunate hiccup with my friend. Well, not unfortunate. I mean, it's good. It was good for him. So my friend, he called me, and I had the after party set up there.
Yeah.
I had it all ready to go. He was gonna actually smoke the turkeys for me. We're gonna smoke these birds.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh, he does.
Barbecue.
So he was gonna do the whole thing there at his place again, but he got an offer from Taco Bell. Really wants that location, and they were really driven to get it. So they lowballed him at first, and he just kind of told them to piss off, and then they came back with a really serious offer. That he couldn't refuse to move his business, and which was a smart business choice for him because the overhead there, a big spot, right? So you were there; it was a really big spot,
amazing spot. I'm not joking. That seriously was probably my best restaurant experience of any restaurant I've ever been to in my life. And I'm not joking.
So he took the deal, but they wanted him out right away. So he called me and he said Taco Bell ruined it, and he said to me, he said Jeff, I'm so sorry. He goes, I'm not gonna have a restaurant for you to have your after party. And I went, you got to be kidding me. So I just didn't know. I didn't know what to say after that, and I just. Yeah.
You count Taco Bell?
No, I don't even think the Taco Bell's open yet. They're gonna redo it, and it'll take them.
I think I drove by it and it was under construction, or unless Taco Bell's opening like 2 or 3
They
locations.
are. There's one on 22nd Street. They are, man. It's terrible stuff, man. Don't eat it.
You guys love that shit.
I don't eat that.
I heard it's like 85% like cellulose from a tree or something.
Probably.
It's like not actual meat.
It's meat-ish.
Yeah, meat-ish.
Meat-ish.
Well, I know they smother it in this weird cheese gravy. You can't. I don't know.
Still tastes good to me.
Don't eat it.
It good going in.
Good. Yeah, so
amazing.
The takeover, and
wait. Tell them about the ribs, though.
The ribs are amazing.
But the rib story from last year, there was a hilarious rib story about the refrigerator and the security guard.
Oh, that was from the year before.
Oh, that was the year before.
That's right. I had my ribs stolen by the security guard. That's correct. He ate my ribs. He got
motherfucker.
He got in trouble. He ate my birthday ribs. That was the year of my birthday.
We think he did it on purpose.
He did do it on purpose because he got shit. My event coordinator gave him shit for being a slack ass that year.
So fuck you, I'm going to eat your ribs.
That's right. That's exactly how it went down.
Damn, that's cold.
I love how you can just check yourself out in the picture there. I find myself staring at myself all the time. I'm like a good looking guy too, right?
I can have the guest cam on.
Just like the mirror.
It is like, and I don't know. People are like, he's just staring at.
Cameras, staring.
But yeah, we're gonna do the show on stage. We launch it with the show.
We do. We go at 4:20 our time, and that always confuses everybody.
It does confuse people, but
right? Because of the time difference everywhere.
An hour and change earlier than your show normally goes at.
That's right. But we got to do it 4:20 our time because that's what we got to do. It's 4:20.
It's 4:20 here, and yes, people always ask me, well, but my time slot is 4:20 Pacific. It's just my time slot. That's when I do my show.
You start at 4:20.
Regardless, yeah, in Toronto it's 7:20 local, but it just is what it is.
Everybody's gonna be hungry because of you. That's fine.
That's fine. Sorry, it's all good. Extra hour, it's worth the wait. Actually, you guys are gonna have to go over there ahead of me because I got to take this literally 100 pounds of fucking gear back to the hotel.
Oh, we got it covered. We got you covered.
Yeah, we'll have it set up so that over the weekend we broadcast as much of the Prairie Cup as possible. We always do. We try to broadcast the whole entire thing. Occasionally, there's a few hiccups with the internet signal, which people have seen in the past. We dialed it last year in pretty tight. We had to lower the quality a little bit to get it to be a constant stream, but we do have a couple options this year. We got the hub.
Yeah, I brought all kinds of fucking gear, and we can do pretty much anything as long as we've at least got a steady phone signal.
It's a tough spot though because I don't know what it is about the walls in there. They're thick or something. It blocks that signal pretty good. So we always work it out.
Something for a signal.
We would. It would be amazing if we had a hard line.
That guy's saying.
A hard line in the room would be the best, but we'll figure something out.
Wireless was improved, so it was the best year we had ever done last year.
So we'll do the best, is what we're trying to say. I got all the gear. We have the ability to do a nice little broadcast, no matter where we go. In theory, as long as we can get a signal out, we're going to try and put it out through as much of the week as we can.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Don't you guys always upload the content later, though?
We do. And what happens is, even if it goes out a little choppy on the line, we keep a hard copy and we upload it afterwards. Right. So people can watch the entire thing after the fact.
But it's nice to tune in while it's happening. We had a bunch of, how many people we have last year online?
Man, a lot. I can't remember what the number was now.
Plus, now that we have Facebook this year, because we didn't have, you did not have Facebook as
this will be the biggest
option on XSplit like you did last year.
No, now that we have our Facebook audience, it's basically 10 times the size. So yeah, our numbers are massive. This will be the biggest viewership for sure.
Nice, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So there'll be multiple streams going through the day, because Facebook only runs like, I think, maximum of 4 hours or something, and the event is like 8-hour streams, and we might not stream every second of it. But stay tuned for the alerts and for the tweets, and we got to build some show posts and stuff once we get in there and figure it out. But
if
we'll make it happen.
If the signal drops while you're watching, just go back to the Facebook page and refresh, and there'll be a new signal.
Yeah, because we'll turn one back on as quick as we can.
Yeah.
YouTube is usually pretty good all the way through. We can run 6-8 hour streams on that, no problem. So if you get a chance, tune into YouTube. We're going to do the best we can. Of course, as I say this, the YouTube on my playback computer just froze for a second.
Yeah, has it been dropping any frames or anything?
There's no frames dropped, so I think it's probably okay, and it's probably my situation here.
Stepping it up with their cable system.
Right? So we'll
more
see
cell towers.
Yes.
Right?
Put them in everything now.
That's right.
Well, it's a lot bigger than it was 20-some years ago.
Inside the Taco Bell.
I remember that.
The 3 Taco Bell.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
And of course,
but that's okay. We made up for the whole hiccup of the after parties now officially at the Old Ryan's.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, at night we go up on the top level.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So,
that's always fun.
And then there's a full, like I said, turkey dinner spread.
Right? Oh, man.
All the fixings, everything that you could think. I had to hire 2 catering companies to get it done. Yeah, because I got 4 40-pound birds from the Hutterites.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Good score.
Yes.
Big turkeys.
Huge birds.
That's very cool. Well, turkey's pretty much the dopest thing you can get, so I'm excited.
Plus all the Thanksgiving fixings.
Oh, man. It's going to be a happy Thanksgiving.
Hell yeah.
The Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup.
That's right. Yeah. After party.
And if you want
to be there. 7th annual.
7th. Yeah. Lucky number 7. That's what I keep calling it. Lucky number 7.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, hashtags PMHC 2017 and Prairie Cup 7. Of course, you've got Prairie Cup on Instagram and Twitter. You've got the 7th annual Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup on the Facebooks. You've got Skunk Funk Smokers Emporium.ca. We're here, of course, at 2504
2405.
2405 22nd Street West, of course, here. Don't get me started, Jay from the Lake over there, and Jeffrey Lundstrom 1. We're all over the place, yes.
You can find us everywhere. Just turn around and we're there.
That's correct.
And, of course, you find this dude all over the cannabis cultures and the pod TVs and any quick little updates or things we should know about the fight and maybe about how watermelon shit went yesterday.
Yeah,
and
we've been doing, it just never stops in Vancouver with all the stuff we're working on. But, yes, good nod to watermelon. We're having a city council election over the next couple days. Yesterday was the first early voting day, so we were trying to gather as many people as we could to get on the party bus and take them to City Hall and vote. So Carly Marley, shouts out. She was handing out free watermelon yesterday.
Nice.
At the station. We were gathering the troops. And, yeah, we got some people out there, but, man, by-elections are tough. We need more people. If we can get 15 to 20,000 people out in Vancouver to vote, then theoretically watermelon could be a city councilor. And Watermelon, for those who don't know, is longtime Pot TV alumni. She's like,
she'd be amazing
show back
city
in
councilor.
2000. Yeah, she'd be perfect. And she's hilarious. She knows her stuff. She's absolutely amazing. Knows the issues. Fights for the marijuana community big time. So we're proud to be putting her forward as a candidate and get everybody. Tell your Vancouver friends, go vote.
Go vote in Vancouver.
That's the problem. When we went around yesterday, we're giving out all this watermelon, trying to get people to vote. We couldn't find anybody that lived in Vancouver. Anywhere. We went up the blocks all over the place. They're like, no, man, I'm from Surrey. No, I'm from Burnaby. We're like tourists. Yeah, nobody from Vancouver actually goes out of their house. They just stay in their little apartments, I think, and go to bed at 8:30. But, yeah.
It's possible.
Or me go to bed about like 2:15, get up about 5:30, get on a plane, and then I go see Yub Yub at the airport. He's like, I haven't been to bed yet.
I have this thing with sleep. I don't do it much sometimes. Yeah, too much work to do, man. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Sleep is a cousin of death.
That's right. And so we're gonna, on the show, when we launch everything, we're going through all the samples like we usually do. We go through the bag.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why we didn't do it here today.
Right, and we don't have Matt here, but we'll try and do our best to give you a little breakdown of what we think is good ways to judge the stuff. Matt always did his thing.
We'll run through the judges form. Make sure that everybody knows how that operates.
And all of us have judged a lot of cups, myself included. I just got off fucking like 19 of them in a row, you know what I mean?
It's Cuptober, or Cuptember, then Cuptober.
Between High Times and 420 and Karma and this, it's just nonstop.
That's why we ended up in Thanksgiving. I didn't even know. When I moved my dates, nobody said, hey, by the way, because I like to stay the end of September, so I just didn't know.
I was about to be like, okay, yeah, that's it for Cup season. Nope, I got Emerald in like a month and a half, 2 months now. 2 months in Emerald Cup, right? That's the last one of the year.
Jello.
Right.
Have fun there.
Yeah, man, it'll be good.
I never go to the
Did you
States.
say how many entries are in the bag this year? Is that
There's 18 flour
18 flour
and 16 concentrates.
16 concentrates. Ooh, baby.
Yes. No, we'll never do edibles. You can't judge them over 3 days, so it's unfair.
Hard to judge edibles.
It is hard. Like,
it's hard to judge it just in general.
Over 3 days, it's hard to judge edibles.
Yeah.
So you got to eat one and then wait an hour and be like, oh, okay, and then wait till tomorrow and try another one.
Especially if you're eating those prairie balls.
Yeah, and especially if you got a fucking another dozen things you got to sample too. Yeah, right.
We'll just never do edibles. I get that question a lot. To clarify, I just don't think 3 days is enough to properly judge edibles, and I want the competition to be fair.
So concentrates.
Judging at any cup is monumental.
It is, and that is
cup
a true
judging
fact.
is tough, man.
Absolutely.
Correct me if I'm
Neil
wrong.
said it's monumental, and it's a huge task. Depends on how many strains you're smoking. Starting to get the pasties.
If those are good strains, he's affected by how his judging is going right away. 3 strains later.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Unless you're somebody like me who can tell you the medicinal benefits of each and every strain I could smoke in 10 in a row.
Well, and also
tell you how each one affects me.
To that,
I am a very unique individual in that aspect.
Well,
people watch me do it. Sorry, keep cutting Craig off.
It's all good. I honestly, I can tell the difference from experience to experience, but what I also do is I like go through the list of stuff. When I'm speed judging like that, like, okay, so there's 10 criteria, and some of them are medicinal effect, and, how am I going to be able to judge that? But I can still judge on flavor, taste, and I can tell differences in potency. Like
some people can't judge on, but I can judge on medicinal effect.
Sure.
I could take a Toke of cannabis and tell you if it alleviates the symptoms and the pain that I'm in.
Right. So. Yeah. But when you're judging 30 or 40 edibles in a day or two, I don't eat the whole thing. I like look at it, take a little bite, try a little sample, kind of. I don't judge it for medicinal effect. I don't judge it for potency. I judge my potency on how many milligrams are there.
I'd fall asleep before I finished the second one.
Hell yeah, me too.
Yeah. So
an hour later.
Certain criteria, like I'll just give everyone the same 5 or 0 or whatever, and you just sort of have to pick your shots on it. If you've got more time and you can really get into it, then yeah, if you had a month to fucking judge 20, 30 edibles and all the weed, cool. But 3 days, I'm with you, man. It's tough to do edibles.
But shit changes quickly because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just a couple years ago that there were no extract.
That's correct. It is flowers.
Yeah, just flowers, straight up. There was some hash. I don't remember. I just remember it being flowers, and then
it was the flower progressed. I mean, we gave away. We used to only give away 3 cups. We only did first, second, third.
Yeah.
In whatever. Yeah. Right. So now there's 12 cups. So first, second, third place, and split the categories. And I just don't want to have too many categories, too many entries, and overwhelm the patients that are coming and the participants that are going to be
130, there. 140 is a lot to get through. My man here, Mike from Smoker's Guy, was saying I sent back 40 grams of fucking concentrates and shit. So
yeah.
Which one was this mystery bag, mystery bud?
I gotta say, Jeff. You were the first one to actually really overwhelm the participants in the cup. I mean, I think you had 26 flowers one year or something like that.
I did have 26 flowers.
And then everybody since has tried to top what you've done. And now it's just crazy. That's what I say. It's an extremely monumental task to try to judge any of these cups. And I think you're the one who kind of had something to do with that.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
remember
thanks,
us being
Neil.
really wild. We were like 26. Holy fucking shit.
Neil claims it's my fault.
There you go.
We did have 26 flower entries the one year.
Yeah.
That is true. That is a
that's
lot.
hard
That's
thing to
why I
do.
capped it at 18.
Yeah.
I figured 6 in each category gave each running person a possible chance to win.
Some
At
people
least
can't smoke
second-
6 joints in a fucking day.
Well,
Or in a
That is
sitting.
true.
Or
it's getting ridiculous. Like the High Times Cup was like 170 entries.
143.
143. We still have the entries. We're still working through them.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave leftover judges kit supplies from not only the High Times kit but to Karma Cup as people like, hey, you need some samples because you're in town? Cool, have this. Or, hey, thanks for cleaning my apartment. And, appreciate you editing those videos. Here, help
But
us
it's just
out.
impossible. Like, we're there
So
for a
much.
weekend. We can't judge 145 different.
No, you never
But
pull
you
that
can do
off.
30, 35 of them.
If you're a hard smoker, you can.
Well, if you came halfway across the country to be out here for it, you probably can.
Well, the concentrate entries are not a lot. So they're 0.12 of a gram, about enough for a good 4 or 5 dabs.
Yeah,
4 small ones, 2 medium-sized one, and 1 big dirty chonger. If you really wanted to know how it hit you.
Yeah,
but so they're not a lot for entry wise with that, right?
Still,
so.
you got 6 flowers and 5 dabs a day. You got 11 entries basically a day, and then you can do multiple dabs and roll a couple joints out of that. I mean, theoretically, you could smoke a dozen joints and do 20 dabs a day out of what you're getting
for 3 days, and you'd be fine.
Right? And no
My
problem.
Stoner math is way off.
But the important math, the important math,
Yeah, no, that adds up.
the important math is how much are tickets?
Tickets are $1 million. No,
$1 million.
You know what? They're the same
Sold.
they're the same as they've always been, except the weekend pass I raised $5. Man, them service fees kill us too. So it costs money, people. Judges passes are $250. They've always been. And you can get them online. There's some service fees attached to that. Well, you can't get them online. You can't get them online now. You could.
Get them this weekend.
You can
Next
get
year you can get 'em
passes.
online.
That's right. Next year you can get them online for sure. We start selling in July usually, so be on it, stoners. Don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
Jesus, they're all like, "What's this Prairie Cup thing?" So, and then it looks like this year, because of ticket sales, we will have some tickets, judges passes available at the door. We had a few last year, but not too many. We'll have a limited number this year. We got a whole bunch of new companies coming out. We have some dispensaries out of Regina. We got those Clearly Delicious guys, these ice cream cats from Fort McMurray. And
Well, they know cold up there.
they do. So hopefully they have some delicious infused treats to try. I'm super stoked. This will be fun. Whole leaf healing trees coming back. I think they're bringing a grow tent with a plant to showcase.
That's dope.
I
Yeah,
like the Can Olympics myself.
The Cannabis
Yeah,
Olympics, the return to the Cannabis Olympics.
And
that's
Dopus
correct.
is going to do the inaugural edition of Opus's Pot of Gold.
His Pot of Gold, his
First
new game
time.
show,
It's a
correct?
game show.
We're hosting it on Sunday.
So we've been
It's
working
part
on
of
this
the
game
award ceremony.
Opus has been working on this for a while now. He's been putting his games together and getting it all. Since Ted stopped doing Reach for the Pot, Opus has been like itching to do a game show, and he wants to put it on Pot TV. So we figured, what better place to do the first episode than at the Prairie?
Yeah, no, Opus reached out and said, and he hasn't been for a couple of years, so it's
No, he
kind of nice
hasn't.
to see him come back. And
Yeah.
we also got some of the
them
12 High chicks in the house this year, and they were sponsors as well. They sent us a bunch of swags and some 12 High Chicks books to give away, and we appreciate all their support and some other fun things. The swag bags got packed up pretty nice this year. Lots of good sponsors. We read them all off earlier, and they roll on our website, and of course at the show they'll be on the big screen, and you can't miss their banners. But
I'm sure we'll be plugging them a couple times from the stage
well,
too.
we want to plug them lots because without them this couldn't happen. Without them I couldn't pay for the events. Without their sponsorship, without their stuff, I couldn't give away the free swag. Lots of companies like Canadian Distributors and KDK and Custom Culture Wholesale Clubs. Like these places have these, they got warehouses full of stuff that the head shop game's tough. So you'll order 10,000 of one thing and you might not sell that many. So you got this stockpile of stock that you're never going to sell. It sits there. You're not going to return it back to wherever you purchased it from. So they give it away. They give it to me. I give it away, and everybody gets real happy about it. So
it's actually a really beautiful thing when you think about it. Everybody at these cups, everybody pays off in the end. Anybody who's involved with it, whether it's the people going to the cup, whether it's the sponsors that are included, it doesn't matter who, all of them that put it together, everybody is just having a great time and everybody benefits. It's just kind of an amazing combination of stuff.
Why do y'all think I make so many plugs?
I know, I love it, but it's great.
So the sponsors really make it happen.
Come together like that from every level of it. And again, you guys were talking earlier about how, we're still going to be criminals next year. Well, every single thing that's in that bag and all the people that we're talking about, everybody who's taken part from all those extract companies and all the edible companies and everything, those will still all be illegal.
Yeah, all considered criminals.
Our Canadian legalization does not include our community.
Luckily, some of us are protected by the medicinal aspect of things. I know I am, and others are.
Yeah.
So I mean, we.
Yeah,
shouldn't have to be.
We gotta. That's why I think it's important, and I want to see these Cubs go on and on and on, because they are the place where our culture shows itself and where we really get a direct manifestation of everything we do in one spot. So
well, it speaks to the Cups going on and on. This is year number 7. It's a lot. I've dedicated the next 3 years to continue my work to reach year 10. So I will be doing the Prairie Cup at least for the next 3 years. I promise, unless they put me in jail. But
yeah,
I know. But it's a lot of work. This year I decided not to let it stress me out too much. I just handled it like a boss, and I've been having much more fun. Just been more relaxed and trying to take it. I was a little bit hard on my team yesterday, but that was after a lot. So
they had it coming.
No, they didn't. They're all amazing. So yeah. But I think we may potentially have somebody that's interested in. We're not gonna, he's gonna learn from me, and I think he's interested in possibly taking over and running the cup for me. And if he does step into the role and he does take the Prairie Cup after 10 years, I think the potential for that man to grow into a wonderful activist and a great voice in the community is a good potential. So
very cool.
I'm going to spend the next 3 years trying to groom him to do the job that I do. And then I'm just going to show up and sit back and watch it continuously grow. So I hope he's up for the task. He said he was. So I guess we'll see, won't we, Matt? So
cool.
What about LP?
Licensed producers?
Required at all? Should be
never.
Neil asked about the LPs.
That's hilarious. And LPs never reached out to me other than offering me a job.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to come grow in their facility.
There is a disconnect you can see between the legal cannabis producers and the actual cannabis culture, the people that have been doing it for 30 years, more than that.
The problem is I don't want anything that has to do with their platform. It's unfortunate that they don't focus on what's going to be really lost, which is patient care. If you look at the current model of licensed LPs, they can't even provide proper medication for the patients in need currently. No. And they're going to focus completely on recreational after it's legalized. So patient care is going to get completely washed out like it has been since we started arguing reasonable access in 2004. So I'm tired of arguing the same thing over and over again. This is my policy. If you have a debilitating disease that you're possibly dying from that can't make it so your life is living a better quality, you can just come see me and I'll give you a bag of weed for free. Fuck those licensed producers. And I can guarantee you it'll be pesticide free, cleaned of everything that was in it. It'll burn nice and beautiful and slow, and it'll make you feel better and will prolong your life to another day of happiness. So that's all I want, right? And they're never going to get that from a licensed producer, because all they see when they look at the plant is money growing.
Yep.
When I look at the plant, all I see is beauty growing, help growing, warmth growing, healing growing. I see if the plant talks to me in a way that is out of this world. It tells me exactly what it needs. I give it what it needs so it can give me what it needs. And they don't do that. And that's why they're going to fail at it. Yeah, so good luck. Like I said, good luck. They're too blind. They don't know.
Poisonous weed showing up with myclo, all the shit.
That's right. That's why they're getting
cyanide weed.
That's why they're getting recalls, and that's why they're getting lawsuits, and that's why, because it's all about the money. They don't give a fuck about the patient.
And well, that leads me a perfect time to ask you the favorite 4 questions. I mean, this is the exact thing.
I like the favorite 4 questions.
Favorite 4 questions. First one. So, how and when did you get into weed there, young Jeffrey?
I started smoking cannabis at 17 years old. And I got a nug. I don't think I really got high the first time. I tried. I got a nug from a friend, and I took a pop can because I didn't have a fucking pipe. There's no headshot back then, at least not one that I knew of, but I don't think I probably would have had money to buy a pipe anyways. So I poked a few holes in the pop can, and I went over to the elementary school across the road from the place, the room and board place I lived in, and I took my buddy that lived in the room next to me, and we packed that nug on the fucking pop can, and I hit that, and I thought I got high, but I don't really know. So that's the first time I smoked weed. I can tell you the first time I actually got high.
Well, tell us that one too. Why not?
Homeboy came over. He had some black grease oil, and he said, "I'm going to teach you how to do the blades, Jeff." And my girlfriend said, "You're going to smoke weed, Jeff?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to smoke something called oil. But yeah, I'm going to smoke it." And she said, "Well, I'm going to leave." And I said, "All right.
Okay.
You take care." And she went home, and buddy fucking said, "This is how you temper the bleeds." He showed me how to temper them out. See, teach a man. Temper them out and stuff, right? This is how you get them hot because they were brand new, and we broke them in. And I got so high on that oil, man, and I never looked back. I suffer from chronic headaches my whole life.
Well, then smoke some of that joint. It'll
migraine headaches.
It's a good one. That one's one of the nicest.
That oil. Before dabbing ever existed.
Oh man, the oil was crazy, man.
We never really knew, back then. We didn't know eating the oil was so much more beneficial, right?
We didn't know about decarboxylation either, man. I was making green oil back in the fucking mid-90s, man. It was nothing.
Some ISO in a pot.
Exactly. Pretty much, yeah.
Could have been eating that and feeling better.
Yep.
The things you learned, right?
Right.
So that's question 1.
So question 2, your preferred method of consumption. Do you like bongs, dabs, joints, blunts? How do you edibles? How do you get down? What's your go-to?
Well, for many, many years, this was my go-to. I love rolling a fatty. I love smoking a fatty. It's a go-to.
Yep.
But I've been spoiled and got into
dabbing,
and I got a sublimator.
Shout sublimator. Yeah, sublimator.ca. Sublimator on Instagram.
I don't go anywhere without it. If you know me, I travel with it everywhere I go.
And get a lot of strange looks.
I have it set up everywhere I go.
Yep.
I've taken it to Spain. I've taken it to Amsterdam. I've taken it all over Canada. So it goes everywhere I go usually. It's my favorite thing, and I dab a lot because it helps alleviate my pain quicker. For people that don't know my ailment, I'm in chronic pain. I blunt force trauma to the nerve endings of my lower back. So I fell 2 stories from a scaffold in 2000. I crushed all the nerve endings of my lower lumbar, basically. So I've been in chronic pain for 17 years.
But so they call you Lum.
So yeah, no, technically maybe less than that because I was fucked on opiates for 5 years. So you know how that is.
Yeah.
You don't feel a lot, including pain during that time. So I don't think I was really in pain, maybe, but I was still in pain. And cannabis helped really regulate that and control that. And I weaned myself off opiates and been a better person and a happier person ever since. So
to that
effect, a little backstory.
Yeah, well then to that effect, then how much do you smoke in a day? Are you an everyday all day?
I was just gonna say he's pretty fucking good at dabbing.
Yeah.
Because he does it a lot, and just monsters through them.
Yeah.
So I started about 7:30 in the morning, usually 8 o'clock in the morning, and I go to about 11 o'clock at night, give or take. Yeah. And I can, depending, wake up in the middle of the night in a lot of pain and have to medicate. So my sub's pretty close to me, so I usually just slaunder over, and I usually sometimes sit in the massage chair. Depends.
Pretty steadily consumption throughout the day, nonstop.
Correct.
There you go. I love that.
Correct.
And then
for a long time.
I get that. That's been the same jam.
You need one of those mama kind things that straps it onto your side. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And you just
everywhere. Oh yeah. No, it's on the go.
And on the back of it, you could try and get a little generator or a little battery pack, so just enough to power it. So maybe a little heat shield on it.
We gotta get sublimator on it.
Cages, Enrico. New sub cages.
And like a temperature display on your shirt.
Nice.
Dial it in.
There you go. New ideas, all trademark. We want 10%. That's all we're saying, Enrico.
Exactly.
And then the last question: out of all the bags you smoke, there must be one that is like the most memorable. You look back and go, "Oh God, this one stands out like no other," and I wish I could get it again. So we call it the most memorable bag ever, or the one that got away.
So, in my early years, my early selling marijuana years, I was going to a house party, and right before I left the house, I got a call from a friend of mine who knows I really like super awesome cannabis.
I haven't tried that cannabis.
Oh, we can try that cannabis there.
Yes. Okay.
And right before I went to the party, I just showered up and gotten all ready to go, looking fresh, and Buddy calls me, and he says, what are you doing, Jeff? I said, well, I'm just going to a house party. And he says, you got like 15 minutes to check out this weed? And I was like, I got 15 minutes to check out weed anytime. And he's like, I'll be right over. So he comes barreling the fuck over, and he shows up in this big boat, like huge car, like all kind of run down, busted looking, like huge station wagon kind of thing. It was huge. Like it had like the seats that lifted forward and you had to squeeze into the back.
80s hoop
for sure, but it was like way too big for how small fucking seats it has inside, right? Like the car's like 6 times the size of the fucking seat. So I cram into the back of this thing, and there's a native guy, and he looks a little rough, and I was thrown off by that. I don't know him. Buddy's in the passenger seat, and I jump in, and Buddy tears off from in front of my house, and we drive up a couple back alleys, and he just slams the car in park, and he takes 2 bags of weed, and he just throws them in the back at me, the native guy. And these 2 beautiful bags of smoke come bumbling into the back at me, and I grab them, and they're the limest green nuggets full of crystal. It just smelled like, smelled so good. I loved it. I was like, how much? He's like $2.50 an ounce. Back then it was been like the year like 99, 2000. Like an ounce was about $2.50, $2.60. That was street price for it, right? Okay. A nice ounce like that. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to this house party. I got this killer bag of weed. I'm so excited. So I gave him the $500 because I was ready for it. And Buddy wouldn't have called me if Buddy didn't have nice weed. I was just thrown off by a dude in his boat, and I didn't expect this guy the way he looked.
A normal sized dude, but the seats were so small.
I didn't think like by the looks of everything that he'd have this kind of caliber of marijuana. Right. So I go home, I drop an ounce off because I don't need that. I got to sell that to make my money back. I'm going to sell the shit out of it, but I want to smoke a bunch of it. So I take the other half to the house party. I get to the house party, and I'm like, oh, I got this great weed. We're so excited. My buddy's party's bumping. So I bust out a big fat nug of this joint, and I roll it up in front of like 15 people or so. And we grab a hold of it, we start puffing on it, and it goes around. And this couple that was there, they had been drinking a little bit. I'm sure that probably didn't help, but they had about 4 puffs each off that fucking joint. Spent the rest of the night upstairs in the fucking bathroom just holding each other's head in the toilet, man.
You know how it goes, you drink sometimes and you hit a joint.
So they wake up off the floor the next morning. My buddy said, like, just fucking weed and booze hungover, puking all night from that joint. They greened the fuck out. That's how good it was. They greened out. And they woke up and they're like, man, your buddy sucks. He must have straight-laced that joint with some kind of shit because that got us so fucked up. And I was like, I got the call the next day. I was like, yeah, right, I laced it. I was like, I rolled it right in front of you, asshole. He said it was just that fucking good you couldn't handle it. So that was my favorite bag of fucking weed. That's some of the best smoke I've ever had in my life.
What it was called?
I don't. Nobody had names back then. Super fucking awesome.
Bright green native weed, something.
Yeah. I would have paid $900 for those 2 ounces. It was so good.
Front seat kush.
There wasn't a lot of kush back then. Like, it was different. Like, this was real, like, fruity, like super fruity and green, like lime green. I don't see that nice, real light lime green. Remember the G Bud from the 90s? I was just
gonna say G13,
and it stunk like fucking shit. My homies grew that shit in Kelowna. We used to run pounds of it on the bus. My homies grew shit. You could smell it a mile from the grow house. A mile.
That's why they don't grow that shit no more.
If you were downwind, you were getting busted for sure. They grow it up in the hills of Kelowna, right?
Yeah.
But we would
find it occasionally.
Man, but that lime.
That you can find at some of the cannabis culture stores like Cassier and Davie Street.
You know, you ever come across, you put something away for the fat kid. I love it. Something. I haven't smoked good G-Bud since like 1996.
Do you guys know about a strain? Like we've had it once or twice, and it is so amazing. Stella Blue.
I've heard of it. It's really tasty.
It tastes exactly like Rockets, those candies you get at Halloween.
Yeah,
those, they unfold those little tiny candies. I swear to God, it tastes exactly like that shit. We get it once in a while, almost never, and I don't know who's doing it or where it's coming from. But man,
coming
from the
coming from the Gride here.
Beautiful stuff.
Well, he would. Sorry, that's not the right one. He would know. That's my man Mike from Smoker's Guide saying it's a bitch to grow. How's things at Smoker's Guide, bro? Moving and shaking always. Check out smokersguide.com.
It's been a long show.
Yeah, it's been a long show. So, well, you know, actually, to that effect, we've made all the plugs. We've hit all the marks. Tickets are still available. The event center, give them the address, the location of the event center for people who want to come down and check it out tomorrow.
O'Brien's Event Center. It's on 241 2nd Avenue South. Downtown Saskatoon.
Nice. For more, of course, Sask Prairie Cup is the .ca is the
web page.
Prairie Cup is the Instagram and the social and the Twitter, as well as put in Prairie Cup or 7th Annual Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup in Facebook, and all that will pop up. And you can come join us for $45 for the day, $80.
No. It's Fridays and Saturday day passes are $30.
Okay.
Sunday's $20 for the award ceremony, and it's not as long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Friday and Saturday is 3:30 till 12:30, and then Sunday is 12 to 6 or 12:30 to 6:30. I can't remember. We usually do 12 to 6. I think we wrap it up a little bit early, and and then we'll have weekend passes and some judges passes available at the door as well.
I love it. Come on down if you guys want to get that. I appreciate you having me out here, Jerry. I appreciate you coming through and talking out there.
If you can't make it down, everybody, you can tune in on Pot TV. We're going to be starting the broadcast, I guess, at 4. We're rolling.
I don't know. Why did you even touch that?
So, yeah, tune in. I believe it's going to be, what is it? Pacific time.
It'll be 3:20.
3:20 Pacific time. So we're a little early. We always start an hour early when we're at the Prairie Cup, so tune in.
Well, I guess 3 o'clock because your show starts at whatever, right? So we'll start a few minutes early, probably get it going.
And then that stream will be going for the rest of the night. And then Saturday morning or Saturday at what time do we kick off?
Same time,
3:30. 3:30. We'll be kicking it.
3:30 the doors open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So right around 4 is when we usually get the live thing.
Right. Perfect. So around 3 o'clock Pacific time for those who usually are normal spots.
It gives people a half hour to kind of get through the door and get their stuff squared away, sit down, find a spot. We're going to have lots of people with the dab bar spaces, and of course, there's tons of volcanoes in the house. We got lots of spots.
I like that you design it for stoners, though, like you were saying, that can sleep in a little bit, have some fun beforehand. Some of the cups, they get you started real early.
I know, you can't smoke all night and then be there at fucking 10.
No.
Or even 11. Go at 3:30. Exactly. That's a great time.
Perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry about that.
Thank you. It's all good. It's all good. Just a little bit. Good. And of course, we do our best to stream as much as we can. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, Toke up and tune in. I'll be producing your show tomorrow while you run and do that. And then while I'm hosting the rest of the weekend, Jared will be running most of the rest of the Pot TV stream using my fucking
setup,
crap all over the place here.
Unit.
Nice.
Yeah, we got.
Then of course we
don't have cart piece, but it's okay. That does not cart piece does not fit in a carry-on. Plus, he's not very tamed.
No, I haven't confirmed, but I think Redbeard's doing his show too on Saturday. He usually does, so I'd imagine we're gonna.
The beard.
I haven't actually talked to him about it, but I was just assumed he usually does. So.
Well, we'd be happy to do the same thing. We'll show. It'll be Redbeard back on Pot TV.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk to him about how he wants to do that.
He may not, but he might just be blowing glass all weekend.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll have Redbeard on
at some point. We'll figure something out.
There's some great glass blowers in the house. We got Drewski from the Quadra Islands. It's great to have Clark Matthews in the house. Who else is coming to blow glass? Vagabond. So Rick will be in the house, and Redbeard Glass, of course. We're pretty excited about some talented artists this year. And
you got everything in one place that you can possibly.
Who made the trophies?
Shine said there's a story. Yeah, there's a story behind that too. I know we've been talking already a fucking lot. Everybody's probably hungry.
Give them the quick rundown. I got a few things up to
So the first year we hired 3 glass blowers to make 3 different cups. Shine made the nicest one. He won the contracts. Been making them for 6 years. They're fucking amazing. He couldn't be here this year because he had plans with his wife, but he hand delivered the cups to me last Sunday. We hung out. He got high. He stayed for the night. It was great to see him. I'm sure he'll be back next year if I don't book it on Thanksgiving. And I'm sure he'll be tuning in from live stream at some point. So shout out to Shine Glasswork from Winnipeg. Nice. And the cups are amazing. You guys will get to see them live tomorrow. So
in theory, we can get him. We can get him on Skype at some point through the weekend, maybe if he's available. Potentially
I'll give him a holler and we'll see if we can. That'd be super dope.
Yeah, we could bring Skype people in. I was talking to John Burfello, Johnny, co-host of my show. Right. Can't be here either. He's got some medical shit going on, but he sends his love to everybody out here right now. I just talked to him earlier. He wants to. I told him we could probably try to Skype him in. He's like, "Oh, that'd be so awesome."
Right. We'll take a look, see how it goes with the audio and video. First of all, we're gonna see our signal, so we got to get there a little before time. But let's get on with the rest of the show here to run through it. I mean, that's pretty much the weekend. I appreciate you filling it all in, Jer. I'm looking forward to doing that, hosting the show with you.
Got real high. Appreciate everybody's patience.
Right. Thank you. Couple of little plugs and just some housekeeping to take care of. Of course, always some updates to do. James and Ashley Priest released a couple articles. Thanks to the priests, obviously, for always their content that comes out. 2 new articles this week. One about the Emerald Cup and one we call Coming to America. Go read them, check them out. We appreciate them and go support them at canalance.com. Also, this sort of big news that's been going on is Studio 710. Nice. That's, you guys have been hearing about it. Well, for the first time, here's the logo.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks super dope.
For those who haven't heard or don't know, and we're kind of missing out. Where have you been? I have been talking about this for a while. Incognito. You've seen some shit on Instagram coming up. It is the new studio that I'm working in conjunction with the guys from Cannabis Life Network because we're already doing a bunch of cross-collaborative stuff. They need a new studio.
Nice for sure.
And, it's nothing against Pod TV. I tell Jared and I have talked about this at length.
We need more.
We need more of these places. I have an incredible,
right?
I had an incredible opportunity to get this, and I'm still going to continue to work with Pot TV and collaborate on content, and we're going to continue to do stuff.
Yeah. And it looks dope, man. The studio is
going to be great, and nothing against Pot TV or cannabis culture, but you've got X amount of people spread through all these different sources. Yeah. We've got a focused number of people going on one project at the moment, and we're just going after marijuana media, and we're going to be the first really multimedia space in there, really collaborative in that spot. We've got big plans, and fingers crossed they work.
Can't wait to see the space.
I want
that balcony.
That balcony.
That balcony, though.
Wait till the Dab Zebo comes, bro. Yeah.
Dab Zebo.
But importantly, also coming out is the start of season 3 from Expert Joints. A little sneak peek here at the new Expert Joints show logo.
I can't wait till you get rid of those.
Yeah, well, I got to get them in while I can.
They are pretty, though.
Well, thank you. So, yes, the new graphics coming for a new season, amongst other things, including a new segment breaks, new intros, new outros, new audio even. I'm getting a new theme song.
It's a whole new show.
The show is going to be 100% themes throughout the whole show.
Just nothing but commercials and bits.
No interviews. It's just
no content.
Just breaks. Yeah. Just like little segment breaks.
But I saw a couple of them today. They're pretty good.
They're pretty funny, right? So we're going to do that. So that's going to come back finally after the 3 preseason shows. I'm going to come back for the start of season 3 next week. Beautiful. So October 12th, I finally make the triumphant return to regular scheduled programming. Of course, I took the month of August off because I hadn't taken a break in 2 years.
Take the month of August
I didn't take the August off. No, I started building a studio, and then I did Karma Cup, and then the Squad Spot special, and then this, and I judged High Times and the 420 Cup. We did all that as well. I've been busy as fuck, so I didn't really get a break. But that's okay, because I didn't really want to take a break. But I kind of needed to reorganize and do this shit. Now, that said, Studio 710 is far from finished. We've barely scratched the surface, but by next week, it will be usable enough to the point where we can start broadcasting out there. It's not going to have all the fancy shit that I want it to, but that's okay. What's really cool about it is you'll be able to see me adding new elements to the show, hopefully every week or every couple of weeks, or as fast as we can anyway, as we get the opportunity to do it. And it's really cool because of what that space can do and what we're going to do with it, and what people like Thompson Caribou Concentrates, like Liberty Farms, like Top Leaf. There's a lot of people out there, Everlasting Extracts, who support what we've done, who've been regular guests on the show, who want to come through and who want to help us do it and grow and continue to succeed because they believe in it, just like Miss Envy and Sublimator and Skunk Funk and all these people believed in cannabis culture and pot TV over the years and shit. People are like, Craig, we like what you're doing and we want to see you do that. And I'm going to continue to do it out of here. But I also want to get that dialed in so we can start addressing more content for more people, having more shows. I want media. I want 24/7 fucking programming and shows with all sorts of people and different shows.
24-hour Cannabis Life Network.
That'd be real 24-hour
sweet.
network.
So shouts to Cannabis Life Network for helping make it happen. Shouts to Cannabis Culture for continue to be with it and setting the trends in pot TV and making it, and we're all going to do this together. I'm going to be everywhere, and I'm trying to be in more places than that too.
If we're plugging sponsors, can I plug my top sponsors for the Prairie Cup this year?
Give me 1 second. Just let me finish last ones on the
Hit
goodbyes here. Also, so you know, next week I will make the guest on the show next week. Just about. Marijuana Man, not Marijuana Man Greg Williams, but
Steve.
Marijuana Man Steve, the crazy
Nice.
pajama wearing Marijuana Man Steve, Facebook star, been
Great
smoking
guy.
weed on the internet since
Makes me
the
laugh.
internet's been
Oh,
the
yeah,
internet.
man.
So-
Well, I asked him why people watch him. He's like, I have
don't know.
no idea. He
Right?
says.
Well-
He's the most famous marijuana celebrity in the world. I swear to
He's,
God.
he says a ton of people from Mexico watch his show.
Dude, when
So
I've been
international.
That's what he
all around
said.
the world with that
That's
guy.
awesome.
I'm not joking. I've been around the world with him, all kinds of different places, and whenever we go, we're going like we're out in the remote, like Barcelona, and people are coming up to him, Marijuana Man, Marijuana Man. I'm not joking.
That's
We're
awesome.
everywhere. It's fucking
So he's
crazy.
going to come on.
It's like going somewhere with
Bizarre.
Ramo, right?
It is too. Yeah.
Everybody knows who Ramo, the
Well,
urban grower, is.
Speaking of Remo might be joining us as well too for a little stop by. I got to confirm that with him, but he's got something neat that he's been working on. He said on the Squad Spot special that we did, go back and watch the replay after this, that he's got a new music video coming out because he's been in a band and he's been working on a new music video, and it's like
Yeah, I
a
heard
weed
about the
rock
band.
something.
Didn't know
So he
that.
said he was maybe
Yeah,
going to come
that's
drop
cool.
the video on my show next week. So
Nice.
stay tuned. That might
He's
happen.
in at cartoons these days.
Yeah, that cartoon was made from somebody, made it for him,
He did,
about
yeah.
him. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's
pretty-
awesome.
I love that.
One
Also,
day somebody needs to make a cartoon about.
they made one
Fat
about
Love in the
me, and
Prairie
it was
Cup.
Rob Moore, not that Rob Moore.
Yeah, other Rob Moore.
And it was really cool, and it was awesome. So thanks, Rob Moore, for making the Craig X and Friends cartoon. Also, products going to be coming to us from Lone Tree Concentrates next week as well.
Delicious
That'll be
stuff.
fun. Going to be a good time, good show. I appreciate that. And yeah, I look forward to continued expansion and doing more. And you'll see a little bit of some changes. We'll see a little bit of probably some confusion. But
technical difficulties.
there's going to be a few
perhaps.
of them, but we will figure it out along the way. And so stay tuned and watch. Season 3 is going to be a hell of a show. At that point, Jeffrey, please, any plugs you want to make, let's drop them. Now is the perfect time.
Oh, and thank you, good sir. So our top sponsors, of course, our elite sponsors, Dabcore this year. Our title sponsor, Thompson Caribou and the Squad, and we appreciate them coming out to be part of that. You know, heart goes out to you boys. You're the best. One of the best in the business, Turpenstan. It's hilarious. Yeah, so then we got our platinum sponsor, which is Vancouver CC Broadway. And Greg and the crew down there.
Marijuana
They
Man, the other
said,
Marijuana Man.
the other
Broadway.
said he wanted to sponsor, so he came in. And then our entertainment sponsor. Oh, he said he was chilling out and asking where supper was. So I haven't been able to answer that because I've been doing this. So I'm going to do that as soon as I'm off the mic. So, and then our entertainment sponsor is Continental Concentrates from Coast to Coast, and the entertainment this year on Saturday night is a hypnotist. And some roaming magic. He's going to do some table magic afterwards. But this is what the hypnotist told me. He said, and I fucking laughed. I'm going to tell this at the Prairie Cup. He said, it's hard. He said, we got to hypnotize people who aren't that stoned. And I said, well, is it hard to hypnotize somebody who's stoned? He said, no. This is what he said. It's hard to keep them focused on the task they need to do when they're stoned. And I fucking laughed so
Even when they're hypnotized.
I laughed so hard. I was like, so
I don't want to be a chicken, man. I want to eat chicken. Chicken? Yeah, I could go for some chicken. Cluck? Nah, fuck you.
okay. So whoever signs up to hopefully be hypnotized
JR, sign JR up right now.
Won't smoke that much previous. Just keep your dabbing or you're smoking low because apparently you're hard to keep focused. So.
Well, it's hard keeping you guys focused on this show. Sask Prairie Cup. Get your tickets. Come on down to the event center. You can
come have fun.
$250. Smoke your face off for the weekend. Hella value right there.
Yes,
if you're getting 34 different samples and all
plus
that shit
swag.
like that, it's cheap.
There's a ton of free
swag.
shit in your gift bag. So.
And we've got a 16-foot TCC dab bar and other vendors who are going to be handing out products
bags.
and shit. Right. Games, fun, prizes, merriment, yub, doing a show, me fucking around. It'll be a good time, man. I'm really looking forward to this one. Anything else anybody else want to say?
Shout out to Sean McAleese for coming all the way from Ottawa. Right? To be here.
Breaking out of jail just to come here.
I don't know if he's breaking like any kind of international laws or whatever, provincial.
For those who missed it.
He's here. And if you guys don't know, I first got word online about Sean and his troubles out there. He got arrested and wrapped up in a dispensary raid and charged. And the company said they would watch his back, and they did not. And they left him hanging.
Yeah, and then we made a public story about it.
I got on Facebook, and this guy Alex was saying, "Yeah, Alex was on there, and he was saying, shout out. This is a shout out to the community. This guy's good people. He doesn't have financial help. He needs help." And that's what the Prairie Cup is all about. I had a little bit of money left in the kitty last year for donation. I sent Paul Lewin some money. We're raising some more money this year for him. We're going to I told him, I said, just don't plead guilty, and I will help you fight it all the fucking way. And I still believe that, so I appreciate you being here, brother. It means the world to me.
And we appreciate you watching. This has been episode 104.75 almost, if you want to get into it. No, this has been the third preseason warm-up game, if you will. We're going to be back for season 3 next week. Jeff, I appreciate you having me here at Skunk Funk.
I appreciate you being here.
Everybody come on through 2405 22nd Street West, Skunk Funk, SmokersEmporium.ca, and, of course, Prairie Cup all over you need to. Jay from the Lake. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific.
You guys out of Pot TV land?
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks for tuning in. Expert Joints. I had fun.
Right? This is great.
7th annual Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup.
Quick credits for more of those, of course, saskprairiecup.ca, and, of course, Prairie Cup on Twitter and Instagram, skunkfunksmokers.ca, thompsoncaribou.com, Team Shatterboo 710. Thompson Caribou is the websites and the Instagrams and the Twitter. Of course, my man Jay from the Lake here. I wasn't sure he was going to be here. I didn't put him in there. Should have put him in there. My bad.
They know where to find me.
Right? They know how to find him, of course. And please, this is where you find me, expertjoints.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just put in Expert Joints. You're going to find it. Also, production assistance, not necessarily this week courtesy, but usually courtesy, and starting next week, Cannabis Life Network.
Most amazing people.
If you want to watch the replay of me at Emerald Cup, by the way, they've got a great recap video. It's a 9-minute video. Go there or my website, and you can see that.
And I really like the golf video. The latest.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, that one is.
Oh, yeah. And
so dope.
If you want to see the 420 replay, I forgot about this. I'm going to actually turn the cam back on for a second. If you want to see the replay of 420 that got taken down because of copyright, I had the video edited where we took out all the music breaks and I just muted the audio and put up a graphic that said, sorry, we had to mute the audio to get around copyright. And it's now back up on expertchoice.com. So I have that. You can get it there. We can link it back up. We can do whatever. It's a huge fucking file and shit like that, but it's there.
That's good. Yeah, so, copyright always kills us.
Yeah. So we got around that one and shit. But anyway, check out CLN. Appreciate them helping me. And stay tuned for more from Studio 710. And of course, stay tuned for more on Pot TV with the Royal Hour with Kush Queen, 2 o'clock on Sundays. Monday, the 420 Lifestyle with BC Budgal. And of course, Carly Marley. We love her. And I know my friend down here.
She wanted to be here so bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, why is she not here, my friend?
She's wishing she was here. We just couldn't afford to do it this year. But maybe I'm hoping next year we're going to do it.
Well, she'll have a nice recap 4 o'clock on Monday. Tuesday, the Great Canadian Smoke Show. You know, Freddie Pritchard at 4 o'clock is going to go all up and down all the different proposals and provincial stuff. And shouts to him for having Mark on the show the other day. That was great. Good working through the tech problems, man. It happens. It'll get there. From Under the Influence, we've got Greg Marijuana Man, Kush Queen, who's usually in between with Al the Alchemist, but he's still at yoga retreat. My spies tell me that he should be back in about 2 weeks, though. So expect
that guy's always somewhere, man. He's in Africa.
Always. And finally, yes, I made make the return on 4/20 next Thursday, season 3, for episode technically season episode 105. Cannabis Culture News will be tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific. Note the time change, 4 o'clock Mountain or Central or Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Central.
Saskatchewan.
We don't ever change a time in Saskatchewan.
It's too confusing.
We don't roll the clocks backwards and forwards.
I gotta stand on a chair and then go like adjust the clock on the wall.
It should just be the same time all the time.
BC is talking about maybe getting rid of that. Anyway, they won't be talking about that on High Noon, but they will be talking about all sorts of stuff. Will Alyssa and Miles. Saturdays at 12. Please support CannabisCulture.com, CannabisCultureHQ.com, and at Cannabis Cultures on the social medias. Of course, Pot.tv, and the often neglected, but hopefully he'll pick up the hint when I say it, Instagram's account, Pot TV Network. Besides that,
got too many Instagrams.
Right? I appreciate everybody being here in the house. I appreciate everyone making you do it. I appreciate everybody who tuned in to watch. Thank you so much. We will try and see you all weekend. Fingers crossed. We'll find some way to make it happen. You know, we're fairly resourceful.
Steady signal out there for it.
Right? And as I said, there will be new graphics and new audio and everything for season 3. So for the last time, I won't say these words, but I will play this track. Hit the music. Peace.